Hello guys, welcome or welcome back to the KP show. We are here with the second podcast of the IPL. Now, all the teams have played at least 10 matches, some of them have played 11, and we are deep into the tournament with two teams already eliminated, a couple of them on the verge of elimination. Overall, I would say five, six teams are still trying for the playoff spots. RCB and I think Mumbai Indians, they are in a comfortable position. Gujarat Titans also. These three teams I feel are eyeing for the top two. And yeah, so that's the state of the points table. And we are going to be talking about each and every team, some hits and misses that each and everyone had so far. And for the teams that are still in contention, what they could do differently to stay in contention. Our podcast today will be from that perspective. Now, without wasting any further time, let's start with the first team, Pratik. Let's start with the eliminated teams first. I think we can call them the Band Bros of 2016-17, Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals. Both have had quite a bad season. Of course, that would be an understatement, but I would say there's a bit of contrast between the two. Let's start with CSK first. What do you think?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, my first thoughts, I mean, in the previous video also we said that CSK doesn't have the ingredients required to make it to the playoffs to pull for a comeback, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, but the one thing that changed from that podcast to this is that CSK does have certain good elements in the team. For example, the inclusion of Ayush Matre, Devol Brevis. You look at that in their batting lineup, the two top performers, I would say these two guys are the ones that they didn't have anybody in the auction, right? These were not there in the auction for them. So that sums up their season quite comfortably. So yeah, what were your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I think CSK did very smart to sign these replacement players. I mean, Ayush Matre for Gaikwad and then Dewald Brevis for Gujranpreet Singh, right? So
Yeah,
they did a very smart job actually by signing these two players because these two can serve them for a long time in the future. Devon Brevis, I mean, I was very skeptical that how everyone missed because first DC had a chance to sign him as a replacement for Harry Brook. Then there was GT who could have signed him for Glenn Phillips. And instead, we see him go to Chennai Super Kings, which is pretty strange given their record of not signing young players, at least in the last 4 5 seasons. So yeah, so that is pretty good, pretty smart from the CSK think tank this time at least. And also they performed well. Matre last night here only in Bangalore, he scored 94, a very blistering 94 and very good shots. I mean, he has got all the ingredients to become a great player. And Dewald Brevis also had a good run against SRH. I think he scored 40 something runs. And last match also, I think he got some 35 runs against Punjab Kings. Yesterday, it was an unfortunate, bizarre dismissal, say the least. But he has also looked good, and he has been a fantastic fielder. I mean, he has taken few brilliant catches from for CSK, which has been a major problem point from them in this season, as they have dropped a lot of catches.
even
So
yesterday
yeah,
they dropped one.
that was a collision. That was a bad collision, and thankfully that no injury to either Jadeja or Pathirana. So all in all, I think they have made good replacements for looking forward to the future seasons. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, from that perspective, I think they made good decisions. Like they have Matre and Brevis, as you already mentioned. Matre is just 17. I mean, he's been very impressive. What I really like is he tries to hit into the V. That is a very positive thing for any young batsman because that shows that he's got those skills required to become one of the greats in the future. I mean, touch wood. Let's see what happens with him. But it's not just T20. He has impressed in the Ranji format as well. If you remember, there was a lot of uproar in the Mumbai Ranji circles when Rohit Sharma replaced him and could not perform. We heard all those rumors about Rohit Sharma, Shivam Dube, these guys getting a warning from the MCA, I think, that if you guys are not interested, why bother showing up? Those kind of stuff. Basically, that shows that this kid is rated very highly in their circles,
In the Mumbai
and
circle, yeah.
definitely it shows the way he has played. But yeah, coming back to what this team has done overall, I mean, not having the ingredients up until that point, up until the previous podcast was true, but now they have a decent batting lineup. I wouldn't say it's the most destructive batting lineup in the world, but it's not as bad as things have been. It's just that I feel MS. I'm saying MS. It's always MS and the team management, but particularly MS because he's the one who kind of
Pulls
structures
the
the
strings
decision
together.
making of the side. Yeah, he's the one who's the ultimate decision maker, if you have to put it that way. So quite disappointed with the way he has handled the batting order, especially. I don't think Sam Curran is a number three batter. Yes, he's got that 88 something. Jadeja has got 77, batting at number four in the previous game. I mean, people would call me out for this, but I don't think it's the right position for either of them. If you want to use Sam Curran in the top, at the top, maybe he should open and make the best use of the power play. And then after power play, he can just try to swing the bat. And maybe if he gets dismissed, basically the way Sunil Narayan is being used by KKR, I see that is the only way you could use Sam Curran at the top. He's not your typical number three batter who would give you consistent runs. You look at the number threes historically and even currently, you have guys like Virat Kohli and AB for RCB. Those kind of guys you need at number three position, at least in the top three, who would carry the game forward. I don't think Sam Curran is one of them, unfortunately. So that's a poor decision. Also, when you have Dewald Brevis in your lineup, why would you not use him? Batting him at number five, number six is such a waste of his talent. Also, Shivam Dube, who is good against spin, I believe he should be your number four, batting in the middle orders, counter-attacking the opposition spinners. Yes, his form has been quite touchy of late. I mean, he has not been scoring runs against spin, but you have to back his strength. That's what CSK does. Maybe one odd game Jadeja can bat higher if two wickets are down, let's say within the first or second over. Then Jadeja makes sense because you then protect Dubey from the swinging ball. But other than that, the positions where Jadeja has come in ahead of Dubey, those entry points itself are problematic. What you're doing is you're underutilizing Dubey's skills. He's also getting a negative matchup against pace towards the death, and that matchup is favorable for Jadeja. So this crisscross is happening between those two guys, which I think is the core of the problems for the Chennai Super Kings in the second half of the season.
Yeah, that is for sure. Yesterday also, I feel they could have done a little bit better with the batting lineup. I mean, the point where NGD was bowling, I mean, somehow they completely negated Suyash Sharma yesterday. He was bowling too short and Jadeja took full advantage of it. So yesterday it was the decision was proved to be right in favor of CSK, that Jadeja got the quick runs against spin, which he tends to
Struggle
gets
against.
tends to struggle against. But again, when Brevis got out, I feel that was the point when Dubey should have been introduced, because they had two options who could bowl that one over. Either it was Krunal Pandya or it was Suyash Sharma. Because everybody knows Dhoni, at least in the last 4 5 years, hasn't been a great player against spin. He just goes very defensive for some reason, maybe the
Right.
reflexes, or it can be anything. So it doesn't spin every bowler. Like last match also, they brought in Chahal to bowl to Dhoni in the 19th over, and that was the game. I mean, they got 4 wickets, and what could have been a 210, the innings ended at 190, 20 runs short. So I mean, it's a very straightforward tactic for the opposition captain. So I think that was the game. And if Dubey was there, so there was no way that they could have offered up the ball to Suyash Sharma or even a Krunal Pandya. Last over, you would have got a Romario Shepherd, and the amount of dew last night in the Chinnaswamy, the match would have been over in the 19th over itself.
Exactly. Exactly. And we've seen this kind of mistakes happen in earlier games also. I think the core remains The core point remains the same, that batting lineup. Anyways, I mean, let's talk about their bowling department also. I think the bowling department hasn't been that great, but I think they've done their job quite decently, I would say. Maybe one odd game here and there, every bowler tends to get whooped by the batters. Yes, that happens, of course. But overall, I think they've done a decent job. Pathirana is one guy who they had too many expectations of. I would believe. I think, and he's the only guy who hasn't stood up to the mark that they would have thought. Apart from that, I think Noor was fantastic. 2, 3 games here and there, he was not good, which happens to every bowler. Uh, and Khalil, I think with the new ball, he has been good. Yeah, with the death overs, he's been on and off. And Sam Curran, of course, hasn't been the same since the 2022 World Cup, uh, where he was like player of the tournament for England almost. So
He was the player of the
after that,
tournament.
he
He
was,
even
in
won
fact,
the
he was.
award.
Yeah. After that, he hasn't been the same bowler. But yeah, overall, I think. And this guy, AK-47, Anshul Kamboj. I'm impressed with him. He gets wickets with a new ball. He has decent pace. There are still a lot of skills that he can work on, but he's young, and I think he's somebody who should be backed by MS and Co. So, yeah. What
Yeah,
were your thoughts on the bowling?
the good thing about them is they work in percentages. I mean, that has been the story of CSK for over the years. They always work in percentages. That which is the matchup and how it will work at which phase of the game. They do a good study about it. But this year they lagged it in the first 5 or 6 games. It seemed. But again, in the last 4 or 5 games, at the bowling department, I think they have done a very good job. Maybe the power play bowling from Khalil and Anshul. Then in the middle overs, Jadeja has been always a great bowler, a great defensive bowler. And Noor Ahmed, I think the only games he struggled when they were defending and there was a lot of dew, like the one in Mumbai at Wankhede, and then the one against SRH at home. In these 2 games, if you say he is struggling, it was because of tremendous amount of dew. If there is no dew, I
Yes.
think Noor Ahmed has been the standout bowler of the tournament for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
His lens have been absolutely impeccable. So I think Noor was brilliant. Pathirana, the problem with Pathirana is I think after his elbow injury, I think it was last season or in between. So
In
after his
between. Yeah.
elbow injury, what I believe his arm means the angle of his arm has changed quite a lot. It has gone slightly upper, like 15-degree upwards. So it's kind of more, means slightly not exactly horizontal now, like it was in the first 2 seasons, 23 and half of 24, where he was most lethal. So it's
Yeah.
slightly coming from over the shoulder, so he's hasn't been that effective. Maybe it will take
Yeah.
him some time to settle
Yeah.
into
It
his
will
new
take some
action.
time. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I also feel. I mean, I get. I've been seeing on social media asking CSK to just release him because it's not worth 12 crores. Maybe it would come to that at some point. I don't know. Maybe you guys would be right, but I believe we should give him that time to settle into his new action
Yeah,
because it's not easy.
even in the last season, whatever games you people won, he was fantastic for you. In the season before that,
Exactly.
in 2023, he was the main game changer in the second half because with guys like Tushar Deshpande and all, they were turned all around the ground. I mean, 10.6, I think Tushar Deshpande's economy rate that season was. So, okay, he can have a bad. Everyone can have a bad season, and that guy is coming back from a serious injury. So, I believe, and he's very young. I think 22, 23. He should be backed enough.
Yeah.
I believe. Yesterday also he was bowling quite fast. In the first 3 overs, he gave away 14 or 15 runs only. Picked up 3 wickets. He was the one who changed the game in the favor of CSK. Last over, okay, it can happen. Maybe he deterred from his lens, not bowling his Yorkers, and he was going for the short ball to Romario Shepherd, and he took full advantage of it, Shepherd.
Yeah.
But all in all, Pathirana, I think he should be backed. He is one guy who should be backed, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 100%, there are no questions asked. I mean, also the CSK bowlers, what I would say is people tend to judge on results. What you should see is the situations they were in. We talked about Noor, right? He struggled when there was due. Of course, any spinner would do. Even Rashid Khan gets scored for runs. So that's there. And other point also, CSK didn't had enough. The two games that you mentioned, MI and SRH, for that Wankhede wicket, we got 174, which was a 210 wicket. So you're already 30, 40 runs short of the par score, not even calculating due, just the par score you were short. So what would your bowler do? And you got 150 or something against SRH on a 190 wicket. There also you were 30, 40 short. And on those days, your bowlers cannot do anything. Yeah, they can get you close, which they did in the SRH game, but you have to judge the bowling accordingly. It's not that CSK haven't been able to defend 190 or let's say consider 200. That's why we lost. Maybe that's the reason, but you see the conditions also. I mean, the batsmen were the one who should have done more on those days. So yeah, overall that's that. I mean, let's wrap up CSK. What I would think is, let's try to see in the 11 what kind of players they should retain, and yeah, of course, it goes without saying that others can be released. So for me, the batting lineup goes in this way. I think we both would agree on this. Gaikwad obviously is retained as the captain and the opener, and his opening partner would be Ayush Matre. For number three, I think they can go into the auction and search for a number three, or if they can trust Ravindra enough, I would say that way you should go and have Gaikwad and Ravindra as your openers for the next season. Give number three to Ayush Matre. Number four, you anyway have Dewald Brevis. Number five, Dubey. And six, of course, I think Jadeja will be retained. And one power hitter from the market. I don't know who who would be available as an option. Maybe you can try for Glenn Phillips. We'll see. But I don't think you can have an overseas option. You have to go for an Indian option because you have Noor and Patiran as your bowlers. So,
That is for
and then
sure.
again, yeah,
Also, a
and
lot of
Anshul and
things.
Khalil. Anshul and
Also,
Khalil.
a lot of, yeah. Also, a lot of things depend whether MS decides to hang up his boots finally, or he continues for one more season. So that is also a point of discussion at this point of time. Sorry, not at this point of time, at least. But let's see what happens for the next year.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely would like to see Vansh Mehdi get some chances in, man. I mean, I'm not saying he's a replacement for MSD, but he is a very good power hitter. May not be as consistent, but we don't know if he's good enough for IPL or not. But just throw him in, see what he does. There are a couple of games left. There's nothing to lose, I think, for CSK. They
That
can
is
try
for
it.
sure. I mean, if you can give chances to players like the Deepak Huda, I think Deepak Huda played last night as well, and the other guy, Vijay Shankar, Rahul Tripathi, these people got so many chances even after having such a lackluster performance over the season. I think the youngster can also be backed. I think they don't have anything to lose as of now. They're already
Exactly.
eliminated. They're playing for their
Exactly.
pride. I believe they should give chances to the youngster.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So let's segue into our next team. Speaking of youngsters, Vaibhav Suryavanshi, what a player. I mean, he got an amazing 100 the other night. Let's talk about Rajasthan Royals and their woes. They are the second eliminated team of the season. Uh, but I mean, it's a very different case. As I talked about earlier in this video, it's a very different case between CSK and other. Although both are eliminated, both are on the same side of the points table. The case for Rajasthan is quite curious because Chennai, whenever they lost, they were completely bamboozled. They were not even in the contest most of the time. But Rajasthan, on the other hand, there were three distinct games which I could tell you right now where they had the game till the 18th, 19th over of the run chase or lost the game in the last 2 overs, man. I mean, it was very unbelievable kind of gameplay that those guys had. Uh, I mean, their finishing has taken a huge hit. Simran Hetmeyer, what we thought was the guy who would give them that confidence of finishing games. I think he couldn't finish even a single game. And Dhruv has been good, but he hasn't been able to close the games.
I think there is a lot of problems within the Rajasthan Royals setup, I believe, because what I hear is there are some disputes with Sanju Samson from the very first day of the season. Then means things haven't been in control of Rahul Dravid as well. So, don't know. It's saying that people are joking like it's not Rajasthan Royal, it's Rian Royals. So not very sure. Maybe these are all speculations, but things haven't been very good for them. In the even in the auctions, in the pre-auction also they released Josh Butler. I mean, you released Butler for these two players, Jurel and Hetmeyer, 22 crores you spent on these two players. And Josh Butler is, I believe, in last 7 or 8 seasons, he has been the best batter in the IPL, at least at the overseas. If he considers the overseas batters, I don't think anyone has been better than Josh Butler. He has got
Yep.
7 or 8 hundreds in winning causes, all for Rajasthan. And I don't think anyone has more man of the match awards, uh, more than Josh Butler in the since the start of 2018.
Mm.
He has been in phenomenal form this season as well. And this is something the think tank has to answer, that why did they release Josh Butler? Someone like a Josh Butler who gave you 600 runs at 150 strike rate every season. You released him. And the void is too large for them to fill that, I believe. And also on the
Mm.
bowling part, they released the spinners, the experienced spinners, and also there is no partner for Jofra as well. I mean, Jofra is bowling dot balls from one end, the other guy comes in and he gets for 15-20 runs. So that also doesn't help a lot. Sandeep Sharma didn't have the best of seasons. I mean, he was never a death bowler, to be honest. He transformed his game. Kudos to him in the last 1.5 seasons. But this year again, he was pretty off till the time he got injured. I mean, you are getting hit for like 20 runs on an average in the last over. Every time you are bowling the last over, and on an average, you are going for 15-20 runs. It doesn't put a good picture. I mean, it deters the balance of the game altogether. Like changes the
Yeah.
momentum completely to the opposition. So yeah, there are multiple problem points, and also I think the Rajasthan Royals is the only team who doesn't understand the impact player role. I don't think they understand because Riyan Parag at best is your sixth bowling option, even with the impact player rule. And even with that impact player rule, your batting ends at number six with Shimron Hetmeyer. So I believe they do not understand the impact player rule at all, because this was the problem for them in the 22 final as well. We all wondered what happens if Butler or a Samson has a bad day, and it happened in the final. Butler got out for 40, Samson got out for 20. All they could manage was a 130, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
And
And
they
the let go of
and they
Butler,
did,
Samson is injured, and you're seeing what happens when there is no Butler and no Samson.
yeah. And then you don't have anyone to, I mean, to look to. Okay, the kid had a good day with the bat against Gujarat Titans, but it was one, you can say it was one off game for Gujarat Titans. They didn't have the plans to uh, stop the storm.
They were
And
kind of
but
surprised, I would say, also by Vaibhav.
yeah,
Some days, let's say the Punjab game against Chennai Super Kings, Priyansh Chawla just
Priyansh
kept
Chari,
on.
how they
Yeah,
he took the game by the horn. He took the bull by the
yeah,
horn. It's
yeah,
like that. So,
yeah.
anyways, but Rajasthan Royal, I believe they still don't have a clear plan how to use the impact sub rule in the last two and almost 3 seasons now. 2022, okay, there was no impact player rule, but they were always that one batter, one bowler short. Only five bowlers they bowled, but they were all experienced bowlers, so they didn't face that kind of an issue. They went to the final. They could not score much runs, so they lost. It is fine. Again in 2023, they didn't have an answer how to use that. Last year also the same problem. Ashwin is coming in at number three or number four sometimes. I mean, it doesn't help the team, right? Number in the
Yeah,
top five, I believe you should have a clear cut plan. Every team, if you see, every
absolutely.
successful team of the past, if you see,
I
we
think
had
I think
space.
they are a victim of that left-right combination thing also.
No, even with that, they have six batsmen only. Whatever, that's what I'm saying. With whatever
Yeah,
permutation combination they put in, you see their batting ends at number 6, so they can't do much. Then you have, I mean, historically, if you see, we have always
They've
had
tried Shubham
players.
Dubey. They've tried Shubham Dubey at 7, right, with the impact. Still, I think there's a lot left to be decided. I think they are trusting Hasaranga and Archer to kind of provide half a batsman together. I think that's their thought process because Hasaranga was decent, but you have to understand that Hasaranga hasn't had a very big impactful innings in T20 cricket in a long time.
Yeah,
So
also I think Hasaranga was injured for a long part of the last 1 year.
mm, mm,
Last 1 year, he was injured for a long, long time. So Hasaranga hasn't been that great of a player, which he used to at the time of COVID or till 2022. He
22.
hasn't
Yeah.
been that great in the last 1.5 years, to be honest. So there are points of concern for Rajasthan Royals, and I think they got the auction horribly wrong, to be honest. They don't
Man, I
have.
think Sanju Samson's injury changed the tournament completely.
No, even with Sanju Samson even with Sanju Samson playing, what else could have happened? I believe.
Maybe
Okay, they
maybe
could have
this
won
way you could.
those two close games which they lost. They could have won that against Delhi and against Lucknow Super Giants. But then also they will be sitting in bottom of the table only.
No, but then there were three games. Firstly, so if they had won all those three games, they would have been with 6 wins. Man, anything could have happened. I mean, it's a very close tournament, right? So anything could have happened. You never know. But this way you can think of it. The one game that they won, Vaibhav Suryavanshi scored that 100. Vaibhav wouldn't even have played that game because Sanju would have played that game. So kind of it all balances it out. And I don't think you can give those excuses anymore that one guy got injured and then we lost the entire team. Because even from a captaincy perspective, also, so of course, CSK had Gaikwad injured. So it's kind of the same story here on both the sides. But I mean, you get 25 players to construct a team in the auction. If you are unable to do so, then you got to pay for the consequences, and that's what has been happening. And I think more or less, more than the performance, I think the biggest concern for me, if I were the Rajasthan Royals management, then it would be how do I retain a Sanju Samson and a Yashasvi Jaiswal. Samson, okay, he was injured, that's why uh, Rian got the captaincy. But and when he comes back, of course, Sanju will retain his captaincy. Maybe that would be slightly easier for them to convince. But how do you convince a Yashasvi? Because see, Parag has a lot of skills, but I believe Yashasvi is the one who should have been the captain for them. I think they made a massive blunder over there. We know that Parag's, I think, uncle or somebody is there in the upper management of Rajasthan Royals. That is why he's getting the captaincy and all this kind of stuff. But to the team, it will do a lot of harm because how would a Yashasvi feel? I mean, I think he was made the vice captain also before the start of the season, if I'm not wrong. I cannot
No, no.
remember this, but
He was. It was said that he will be, but they
okay,
went ahead with Rian Parag.
Riyan Parag, okay. In that case, it's okay slightly. But yeah, it could cause a lot of rift between the players as well. So it's not good. That's the thing that I worry about the most.
I mean, next year there can be a lot of swaps, I believe. I mean, someone like a Jaiswal and a Sanju Samson may leave uh, Rajasthan Royals, and maybe the kind of performance and all what Rishabh Pant has put in, maybe we can see him in new colors as well. Means there can be a lot of swap deals as well, given the
There
thing,
can be.
given the
Yeah.
chances. And Rajasthan
But
Royals,
but
I
I
think,
think I don't think I don't think there can be a swap deal for Rishabh Pant though. So because the amount that he has, 27 crores, they've got to release him in the auction if they want to do it. Otherwise,
yeah,
there's
that is for
no
sure.
other way. Hmm.
That is for sure. I mean, Yashasvi Jaiswal, what I believe, there were stories that Lucknow Super Giants was pretty much interested in him, buying him. So they
Hmm.
wanted him to be released into the auction. Means they approached him and asked him to take his name into the auction so that they can buy him at a better value. But seems he their talks with the Rajasthan Royals management. They had good
Yeah.
talks with Yashasvi Jaiswal, and they came to a agreement that okay, he will be retained.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
they
the
would
first.
need all of that power. Yeah, they need all of
So
that power next season also.
yeah, Yashasvi has been good in patches for them as well. I mean, maybe his contributions don't look that big. Reason being, the team hasn't won that much. But as a batsman, I believe he has been really good. After the first 3 or 4 games, he has been really good.
Yeah.
Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Yeah. But I think they would still need those big knocks from Jaiswal. At least I need those big knocks from him because I expect a lot from him. He's supposed to be the next big thing, at least from my perspective, even over Shubman Gill. So we have to
That is
wait
for
and see.
sure. That
Yeah.
that is for sure because given the hunger that guy has, as everybody in the circuit in the cricketing fraternity says that he is the next Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
Shubman Gill may be hailed as the next Virat Kohli, but by the methods and by the approach to the game, Jaiswal is the guy. By the sheer
Yeah.
work ethic that guy has.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's the hope that he will do well. England series was also upcoming. We're going to be talking about that also in our upcoming videos whenever the tour nears. So yeah. Anyhow, let's move on to our next team, which is not eliminated as of now, but they are there. They're almost on the brink of elimination. So it's SRH. They've played 10 games. They've won only three. They've lost 7 games. Doesn't do justice to the team that they had at the start of the auction. At the start of the tournament, even. I mean,
I mean,
we,
I I,
there's
I
I don't think
believe.
there's much change, right? From the previous our discussion that we had about them, from then till now, there's no change.
Yeah, that's what. I mean, the problem with SRH is they can blame only themselves for their doom. They have nobody but to blame themselves for their doom. When the auction at the auction, only one thing I think that went wrong for them was Muhammad Shami's form. But it was always around the corner reason that he was not playing for the last 1.5 years with a serious knee injury. He was coming back from it, and it can happen to any player. And also, he's in the mid 30s now, Mohammad Shami. So they took a big chance on Mohammad Shami and it didn't pay off. That is one thing that you can say. Okay, the main premium Indian bowler didn't fire, but that is just, I believe, 10% of the problem. I mean, you had a batting, and we already discussed clearly that the number 6, 7, and 8 are going to be very important for them. That is Abhinav Manohar, Aniket Verma, and the leg spinner, whoever plays, if not Zampa. It was already always the case for them. And that thing they got wrong, I believe, from the very start of the tournament. They didn't back Abhinav Manohar a lot, and Zampa was also shown the door after the first 2 games. Maybe after that, after like 5 or 6 games, it was informed that Zampa is out of the tournament because of some injury. Okay, that is one part of it. But when you have someone like Rahul Chahar, he's experienced in the circuit. I mean, you could have given him chances, right? He bowled just 1 or 2 overs and he bowled decently only, whatever he bowled. So I don't know what was the case with SRH and with Daniel Vettori, the veteran spinner, as their head coach, and he also, I don't know why he didn't show that much trust in someone like Rahul Chahar, who was really good. I mean, that guy played for India before Varun Chakravarti, or at the time Kuldeep Yadav was coming bursting onto the scene. At that time also he played for India. So that is a big thing.
Yeah,
It's not, and he was the part of Mumbai Indians winning team in 19 as well as 20 season.
20 season.
So
In 19 final, he was, I would say he was my man of the final. Bowled
yeah,
4 overs for 14 runs. That
and
was
pick
the
the
game,
most
man.
important wicket of Suresh Raina, who is a tonker against spin. He took
Yes.
the he took Suresh Raina out of the equation. That was really important, and that is something that I don't know what happened with Sunrisers, and also their over reliance on the openers. We already talked about it that if Abhishek and Travis Head have to go berserk, then Ishan Kishan and Nitish Kumar Reddy have to make sure that they have a strong platform behind them. They have to show some responsibility. Ishan Kishan again, brilliant start to the season, one game, and after that it all fell off. I think I called it multiple times that this is his make or break season after what all happened with the contract drama last year. I think this was his make or break season, and that guy completely lost it.
Completely
I,
lost the plot after that. I have to
yeah,
agree.
Nitish Reddy again after that 100 at Melbourne. I mean, he hasn't looked like that ever since. I believe none of the games
But
in
Nitish
there
Reddy,
also BJP.
mhm.
There also he got out cheaply in most of the games after that Melbourne 100, and then again here also very very poor performance with the bat, and he's not bowling as well. That is also not helping the team for
that
which
that is what
they
I'm
have to play.
that is what
That
I'm
is
against.
actually
Why is not?
that is that is actually deterring the balance of the team.
And that is also detrimental to his career also because we are looking at him as a bowling all-rounder after Hardik Pandya. If he doesn't bowl, then purely on the basis of batting, we do have a lot of better skilled players that definitely would be preferred over him. So
That is so
that's
true.
a negative for him. That's a negative for him.
I mean, you are doing nothing. He's doing
Yeah,
nothing for the team. He's not
yeah.
helping the team in any way. He's not scoring
But
runs. He's not bowling as well. I mean, it's not helping the team in any way, I believe. And also,
I
it's
think the
not
last
helping his cause for selection for the Indian team as well.
exactly. And I think it's slightly good thing in the last 2 3 games he has got at least some sort of runs. Like he finished off the game against Chennai, and then he got runs in the other game also. I cannot
Game.
remember GT, the GT
Gujarat.
game. Yeah, he got some runs, so that's a good thing. And I heard that they went back to some holiday at Maldives, and he stayed back and was practicing or something. But all of that stories are good when you score runs, and that is what is important for Nitish
Not
Reddy.
only score runs, not only score runs, you have to convert the runs into match winning knocks.
Match winning runs, yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You have to convert them because you coming in at number 6 or 7 and scoring 40 of 20 when 80 is required in the last 4 overs, it's of no use.
mm,
You should have come out earlier. You should have taken the onus when Klassen got out. You should have come out, but it didn't happen, right?
okay,
And that
yeah.
I think that is all also on the management. I believe team management has been horrible for SRH. I think they got too much carried away. But what happened last season? I think they should have got a clear picture of what they were doing after the 2 games against KKR at Ahmedabad and then again in the final at Chennai. They should have got a clearer
I think
picture that how can we amend our issues. Because if Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma get out cheaply, our batting doesn't even score a 140 or a 150. That is a big.
exactly.
That is something they should have figured out and fixed. But it seemed there was no change. They were taking too much pride in those things, and
Which
what
is
happened?
good, which is not bad, but you have to give that balance also somewhere because I think it's a credit to all the other teams, of course, barring CSK because they lost to them. Whoever has beaten them so far, it's a credit to all of them because has anybody outbatted them? I don't think so. They have all given them that black soil kind of a wicket or a black soil mixed with a red soil wicket so that the ball would slower slightly. And that's where they've beaten them. KKR gave the formula in the final. So, of course, that was a Chennai wicket. Always, more often than not, it's a black soil wicket. They showed the path to other teams that these guys cannot bat at all if you give them slightly slower wicket. And
Sluggish
that's what a
wicket.
sluggish wicket. Bro, they struggled to chase 150 against CSK, man, on that
Yeah,
wicket. That
and
shows
there
how
was
poor they
like
have been.
I I mean, that day the dew was so severe that when Noor's means replays were shown, you can clearly see the sprinkles being released from the ball in the slow motion. There was
Yeah.
so much dew that day, and in that day
Still,
as
they took
well,
19 overs.
they took the game till the 19th over. There was no point as well in taking the game to the 19th over that day. There was so
Yeah.
much dew, and I think they have lost all the confidence. I mean, you see Travis Head or you see Abhishek Sharma. Ishan Kishan is seems all lost. Nitish Reddy, traditionally a number three, number four batter, is coming out to bat at number seven. Klassen also doesn't know. I mean, he doesn't seem to have a clear plan against the attacks. Aniket Verma, Abhinav Manohar. I mean, I don't think they have got. Means the management has got it right this season for them. They got it horribly wrong
Yeah.
because it was, and also against the GT game, which we were talking in the last podcast as well. Why will you give a team like GT a black soil wicket at your home? I mean, GT is someone after alongside DC and KKR, whom I will never give a wicket which even provides the slightest bit of turn, because they have a Rashid Khan, they have Sai Kishore, who is a brilliant bowler in the domestic circuit, and also they have Washington Sundar, who can chip in with few overs. He also plays Test cricket for India, can be a handy bowler if the track supports him, right? So why would
Yeah.
you even give them that kind of a wicket? You are a you are a high scoring team who loves the ball, and your batting loves the ball to come onto the bat. You should have given them a belter. Why
Yeah.
will you give them that kind of a surface? Yeah,
Exactly, and
completely.
that's been the do. That's been the do. I think let's talk about the million-dollar question. Do you think they will make it to the playoffs from now?
No way.
They've got 4 games. If they win, they'll get to 14. Net
There
run
is
rate, we
no
all know how poor it is.
there is no way they can do that. They can't win. They just can't win.
E-
The reason being, the
Even if they
batters.
win all of their games by 100 plus runs, they will still not qualify because I think this time with 14 you cannot do it. You have to get 16 for the playoffs because the teams have been so bad, the lower tier teams, that people
Exactly.
will qualify with 16.
I mean, this time the gulf between the top three and the bottom three has been so huge, or rather, the top four and the bottom four has been very huge. So it becomes very difficult. And the problem with SRH, why I'm telling they can't qualify, reason being, you see their batting performances from the Mumbai game. They won again. They scored 245, I think, in the chase against Punjab Kings at home. The next game they go out to Mumbai at 1K day. How on earth do you manage 160 batting first? How on earth, with that kind of a batting lineup, you could manage 160? And not like they got out like playing rash shots or something. They just didn't attack. They didn't attack. They didn't attack till Klaasen took the charge after the second strategic timeout after the 16th over, when he took the onus on him, and they scored some 50 runs in the last 4 overs. They were 110 or 105. The score propelled to 160. Only on the
Yeah,
purely on the merit of Heinrich Klaasen, and last over by Cummins. Two or three sixes he hit as well.
yeah,
So I think and again they then Mumbai went to Hyderabad in their in the home ground only. They got down to 13 for 4. The batters just don't seem to have the confidence in them. You see the stroke
yeah,
play of Travis Head. Someone like a Travis Head, he seems to be caught in 2 minds all the time. Travis Head didn't have a means Travis Head also had a very poor run of form, especially away from home games. Then Abhishek Sharma is again, I think he has just two good innings in this entire season, one in that chase and one against
in
the
the
last
first
game
game.
in GT.
First
GT.
game,
One for first game, I don't think he scored too many runs, 30 odd runs he scored. Okay, that you can also consider. So he has also been hot and cold. Ishan Kishan, the same story. Then Nitish Reddy, Heinrich Klaasen. I think the batters just don't seem to have the confidence in them. After all the
yeah.
things that they seem to promise before the start of the season, and the way the teams have tackled them this year, I think it broke their confidence completely.
Yep, I think that's the case. And let's talk about what they can fix. I think left field choice would be to have Nitish Reddy at number 3. Maybe just give them a bit of a gap. Maybe Nitish Reddy is somebody who can slightly hold the innings for some time, and then you can continue your backing on the other side. So I think this kind of a balance is very important to them. They are anti CSK, I would say. CSK uh, is like guilty for not attacking at all. These guys are over attacking. So I think that kind of would give them the right balance. You have Kishan at four, but then the problem with having Kishan at four is that he cannot hit spinners too well. He can struggle against them. That's a problem.
The problem with Kishan is not like he can't hit the ball. The problem with him is he can't rotate strike. And that has
Ah,
been
yeah. I
his
mean,
problem.
that core
That
problem.
has,
That is the core problem that he cannot rotate against spin.
and that has been his problem for the last 5 years. After the 2020 season, the prolific season with the bat in UAE, I believe he hasn't looked the same. He has never looked the same. And that is the reason why Mumbai means it was his choice or the management's choice, whatever, but they opted to open with him rather than playing him at number four, which they did for the first three seasons 18, 19, and 20. He batted three or four for them. But last means the second cycle, 22 onwards, 22 to 24, they opted to open with him. The reason was this: he just tends to get stuck with the game, and that was another reason why he got dropped, you can say, or he was never seen as a permanent replacement for a Rishabh Pant or someone who can bat number four. There was always a chance for him with KL Rahul injured for the half of this half of the year. Rishabh Pant gone for 1.5 years. He had the golden chance to become the number four or a number five batter, also a lefty, but he spoiled it. He has no one to blame but himself, I believe.
Himself. Yep, yep. I mean, maybe he could get released into the option pool also. If he has to bat below number four, or maybe even at number four, his effectiveness goes down. So maybe CSK could pick him up as one of their openers, if not an overseas guy. That could be an option, but yeah, we'll see if he gets released. But I would personally back him, maybe give him one more season at number four, and then we'd see what happens. But it's quite mandatory for them to have a stable guy at number three. Nitish Reddy has to play according to his strength. He cannot also succumb to the pressure that probably the management has given them. Score 280. You cannot do it every day. I think they
That
have
is
to
that
be
is
realistic.
that is something the management has to say. You
Yeah,
can't, after losing three games on the trot, the captain or the management can't come in the public videos and say that it's okay if we get blown apart, but we are not going to get back down. What did you achieve by that? You're on the verge of elimination. And it's not like you lost the game by close margins for someone like Rajasthan Royals or maybe CSK in some games. Whatever games you lost by a mile, by a country
I
mile.
think I think the ideology I don't have a problem with as much because but you have to be realistic also. You don't have that skill set. You have to
Yeah,
see that you don't have that skill set to do it every game on all kinds of wickets. See, ideology is one thing, but conditions you have to give them slight respect. No,
respect. Yeah, definitely. And even in the
respect the
home
condition.
games, they can't do that. Even in their home games, they could not muster the runs. They could only
Hmm.
manage 190 against someone like a LSG, probably the weakest bowling attack in the
Okay, yeah.
IPL. Then all you could get against GT was a mere 150. Then against Mumbai Indians, you got 140 at home. How do you plan to win the games? Apart from Rajasthan Royals, their batting could not score runs against anyone, and one game against Punjab. These two games. If you can only score on highways, then it's a matter of chance, right? Every day, even on the highways, the other team will also come all guns blazing on you. That is something they need to fix. I believe they need to have more stable players. I think Aiden Markram they released. I don't know why, what happened between them because he's still their captain in the Sunrisers Eastern Cape and could have been a very good player for them at number three this year as well. It seemed they chose to move past him. Also, could have bowled a lot of overs if required. So, not sure, man. I mean, I don't believe. I think the strategies. uh, didn't work for them, whatever they thought of.
It's strange, yeah. I mean, they have to do better. I think it's all mostly on the management. But yeah, let's move on to our next team, which is in action as of now, and that is the Kolkata Knight Riders. Uh, so yeah, let's talk about them. I think your favorite Andrew Russell. He has scored finally in this season of the IPL, got 57 of 25. So what are your thoughts on?
Yeah, so finally Andre Russell has come to the party with the bat. He was good with the ball. Whatever games he got a chance to bowl. And KKR, I think, do have a realistic chance. They can make it to the playoffs if they win all their remaining games because they have CSK at home and I believe one more game at home and one away to RCB.
Yeah,
So I think they can. They
other
can.
other their other home game is against SRH, whom they've beaten quite a few times.
No, no, no. SRH is away game. It can be because home they
SRH is
already won. Because they won the home game. No, that is the point where we understood that SRH can't do much
yes,
on the
yes.
score
Mm.
wickets.
Then they've got two away games, and currently they're playing Rajasthan Royals. So that is two home games and two away games overall they have in that case.
Yeah, so both the home games they have against the eliminated teams only, Rajasthan Royals as well as your CSK. So Rajasthan Royals, I believe they are in a winning position currently, but let's see how
Not
the game
really. They are 22
goes.
for 2. They're 22
Yeah,
for
I
2 in
mean,
3 overs.
I mean KKR in a winning
Achha,
position.
KKR is in one. Okay.
Yeah. So and the other game is against CSK, who against whom they have been good traditionally, and also we know if CSK Jen has struggled against good spin attacks. The last
Yeah.
time they faced your KKR at Chepauk, they barely managed 100 runs. So let's see what happens. But KKR this year, I mean, there has been a clear lack of plan from the batting perspective, I believe, because playing, I mean, Rahane maybe Maharane has looked good in patches. He may be their top scorer, but it's also because of the fact that none of the major batsmen have played that well. Who should have? Both the openers have had a, you can say, a on-off season, on-off kind of season. Then Ankrish Raghuvanshi, he got chances in patches. I mean, sometimes he bats at number 3 or 4, then sometimes you see him bat at number 8 or 9. So that has also been a problem. And then Venki Iyer has been extremely poor with his form. Maybe the price tag issue, or maybe multiple reasons can be there. Russell, till this game, hasn't looked very good with the bat. Rinku Singh also looked good in patches, but again, he is batting too low for his capabilities, I believe. Ramandeep Singh didn't get many chances, and even in the chances he got, apart from the Mumbai game, I don't think he had shown a lot of, um, performance as a batter.
No.
I think the batting part, KKR have blown hot and cold this season, and that is the only reason why they are so means at the position of the table. Otherwise, they could have been. Their bowling has been on point in most of the games, if you see.
Yeah, their bowling has been quite good. I mean, I couldn't agree more on that actually. I think KKR would be a very short discussion for us because I think we completely agree on this point that their batting order is to blame. I would still say this. Okay, you cannot have both Amrish Raghuvanshi and Ajinkya Rane in the same 11 with both batting till number 4. You can have both if they are fitted into the top 3, but you cannot have them beyond that. I
That
think
is for
that is
sure.
the core. Yeah,
Because when there is no Quinton de Kock, you are not playing. I believe someone like a Lavneet Shishodia, he can come in as the wicketkeeper batter who can bat at number 5 or 6, and that will also give a cushion to someone like a Rinku who can bat slightly higher in the order. Because mind you, Rinku Singh is a very capable batter. He averages almost 60 in the first class in the red, I mean, in the red ball games. So
exactly.
So I don't think he's just confined to the role of a finisher that he will only play 20 balls and score 50 runs. That's not the only skill set that he has. He can play those long innings if you give him a chance.
Exactly. And
I,
not only that, you are delaying the entry points for guys like Russell, Ramandeep. I mean, you should have this kind of batting order. What I believe is maybe you have, if you have Gurbaz, okay, that's okay. We would prefer to have somebody, the wicket keeper in the middle order. But okay, if you are having Gurbaz and Narayan, your opening batters, then number three, you have to take that call and maybe drop Raghuvanshi, which is a whole lot unfair for him because he has been very good for them. But if you want to play Raghuvanshi, then you have no other option but to have a middle order keeper. I mean, ideally you shouldn't drop Raghuvanshi, you should drop Rahane. But since he's the captain, you cannot drop him. Mid-season captaincy change is definitely something that I'm very against because it has never ended well for the team unless it's a Mumbai Indians of 2013 where Rohit Sharma took over in the middle. So that change I wouldn't do for KKR. But if that's the case, then you cannot have Raghuvanshi in the 11. But if you want to have Raghuvanshi and Rahane both, then there's no other option but to go for the middle order wicket keeper. Put Raghuvanshi as the opener or Rahane as the opener if you want, alongside Sunil Narayan. And whoever is left can bat at number three. Then you have Venki Iyer at number four. Even Venki Iyer is also a top order batsman, man. And I'll tell you why. Because this is the same problem which RCB also has. Rajat Patidar. He's also batting lower than he should. These two guys, MP made it to the final, but do you know why they haven't won the final? Because these guys batted at number five, number six. These are your top order batsmen, man. And if these guys don't play enough balls, how can they create an impact in the game? That's what happened in the final also. If you look at that final, the smart final I'm talking about, Rajat Patidar played a beautiful knock, but it was too late when he came in. Had he played a bit higher along with Venki, they would have gotten even more runs. They would have gotten that 200 and challenged Mumbai, but
Mumbai.
they couldn't. And the same mistake is happening with Venki here. He's batting at five. You're underutilizing his batting talent. The reason why he was given 27 crores was because he batted in the top three and he gave you those clutch numbers that he did, the 50s, 60s, 70s. He cannot do that at number five, man. Come on. Maybe he will, but obviously the frequency would be a lot lower for him compared to when he'll do it in the top. Again, if you have these guys as your top four, you free that number five slot for Rinku. And then you can have Russell, Ramandeep come in six, seven, and maybe Sisodiya at eight or whatever. Six, seven, eight, you can is flexible. You can change it based on the situation. But at least top five you have to fix right. Top three, top four at least.
I mean, yes. What I'd say is it's kind of a trade-off that you have to make it happen because Ankush Raghuvanshi by far has looked the best batter for them with the kind of shots he comes and plays, and most of the games he has been in a very tough situation for them. Whenever his entry point, because he is mostly coming in as a impact player if they are batting in the second innings, and if not, then he's playing from the start, and mostly there are early wickets. And mind you, KKR is the only team that hasn't got a 50-run opening partnership till now in the competition. So that is, you have to change something, right? There is something that is not working. Okay, you are hell bent upon that. Okay, I will play with Narayan at top because that gives me additional whatever runs he scores, which is good, no issues. But if that is the case, then you should ask someone like Ajinkya Rahane or Ankush Raghuvanshi to open so that it can free up space for Andre Russell, Rinku Singh, and Ramandeep, whom you have retained at 5, 6, and 7, and you are asking them to bat at 6, 7, and 8, which is already too late. 5, 6, 7 is also kind of late only. But again, it is their role or whatever, how the team is built up, uh, but it is not helping you at number 6, 7, and 8. So you have to push them slightly up, even if that comes in the expense of the wicket keeper. Come on.
Too many top order batters, man. What can you
Yeah,
do?
and it's not like Gurbaz is scoring like 50 runs every game, or a Quinton de Kock was scoring a 50 runs every game. They didn't look very impactful. That's why you remove Quinton de Kock, then you brought in Gurbaz. You can try with the Loveleen Shishodia in the middle overs who can come in, who can play as a floater if required, and that can free up space for some players like Russell, Rinku, and Ramandeep, who are prolific hitters of the cricket ball.
Yeah.
And also in the at the bowling part, I mean, if you see the game, KKR's games for the last means whatever 10 games they have played, it's like the first 10 or 12 overs have been on autopilot mode. You see the same bowlers bowling the same overs. It's Varun Chakravarti coming in at the fifth over and he's bowling. Then in the sixth over, some other spinner is coming and bowling. And this has been their case in the last, I mean, all the games they have played. Whether a wicket falls or it doesn't fall, it doesn't matter for them.
Yeah.
I think
I
Rahane
think
needs to be a bit proactive with his captaincy as well, I believe. Because
yeah, I
last
think
game also against Delhi, which they won, if you see, till the point Rahane was the man in charge, Delhi were looking to fly away with the game. Like Akshar and Faf were batting, 7 over 73, 74 runs were required. Rahane went off the ground. Nareen became the captain. And within a span of 4 overs, the game completely turned on its head. So,
yeah.
I mean, you have to be a bit proactive with your captaincy decisions, I believe.
And doesn't that bring the question then? In that case, do you need Rahane as a captain? Why not hand it to Sunil Narayan and just have Raghuvanshi bat at number three? Case
Means
closed.
again the same thing. You can't change the captain mid-season. I think this is something they should
Hmm.
have planned. I mean, see, they left. We say that they retained 9 of the players who played that final, but the point is, you left the 3 players who were the most impactful players. You
Salt,
left Tom
Stark,
Salt, who
and
scored
Iyer.
like 500 runs at 180 strike rate for you. You left Stark, who was the man of the match in both the qualifier one and as well as the final. You you dropped your captain. You means you let go of your captain, the IPL winning captain for you. He scored like 400, I think 360 runs or something last year as well. 360 by no means is a bad number for someone coming into bat at number 4 or 5. Suresh Iyer was not batting number 3 last year as well. If you see the numbers, he barely batted in some game. I think towards the end of the season he started to come at number 3. Earlier he was not coming at number 3. It was their left-right thing. Either Venki Iyer comes in, and most of the games Sunil Narayan means Venki Iyer used to come in. So that is something. I mean, maybe they got it wrong this time, or somehow it hasn't been that bad for them till now. I mean, they are still in the competition, and they have the most realistic chance of the bottom 4 or 5 means
Oh,
the non-eliminated teams who can make it to the playoffs. I believe.
yeah. I think that one batting order change is definitely required for them. If they do that, then definitely they can qualify into the top four. I think they're a strong team, and I think they can challenge for the title also. I can tell you this because they have that power. It's not that the team is lacking in something, it's just that the pieces have to be organized in a better way so as to get the best out of everybody. So I think that's what is missing from their side. But yeah, overall, I think we wish that they make it to the top four because they are kind of a dark horse team. They can make any competition interesting. They can beat anybody. That's the USP. So that's that. And let's move on to the next team. The next team on our hit list is Lucknow Super Giants. I think I called it in the previous video also, and I would repeat the same thing. These guys have over delivered so far. With the limited bowling that they had, despite all the injuries, now it's a good thing that they have Mayank Yadav back as well. So that's a positive. But they have overachieved, and I think now, not to sound too negative, but I think it's the point where they start to go down the rails.
Rumble. That is for sure.
Yeah.
And I have been saying it from the very start that they do have the weakest bowling attack. Even with your Mayank Yadav and Mohsin Khan or whoever they had in the ranks, if not for the injury, they still would have the weakest bowling attack given the experience they have. Because these players haven't played international
Select
cricket that
XP.
apart from Bishnoi, I don't think anybody else has even 15 matches of international experience.
Not
So
counting Shardul, of course,
Shardul came in
because
as a
Shardul
replacement,
was a replacement. Yeah,
replacement
exactly.
player, right? So he was not there from the start. So that has been the core problem of Lucknow Super Giants from the auction table itself.
Yeah.
Also, the most difficult means the most problematic part of the problem for them is their captain, I believe. His batting form, not his captaincy. He has been a very good captain, I'd say, with the resources that he has. He has been brilliant with his captaincy.
Managed quite well.
Apart from one, two decisions which always happen, which is always bound to happen.
You consider that with Rishabh Pant. You know that.
Yeah,
So
that is
those
fine.
things. That
Yeah, that
MS
is
Dhoni
fine.
game, we know he did the same mistake in 2021. He repeated it in 2025.
Exactly. So that okay, that is fine. One, two games here or there that can happen. But majorly with the bad, I believe it has been the worst from a prolific batter. I mean,
Yeah,
from a
have to agree.
India, I mean, from a regular Indian international, I don't think anyone has batted more poorly than Rishabh Pant in a season. I don't believe. I maybe maybe Rohit Sharma of 2016. I don't know. I haven't said. Don't remember that much, but I don't think anyone else has. This has been just too bad. I mean, even Deepak Huda was better than him last season. I believe he has been that bad. And the game
Yeah,
you can say that he scored a 60 or something against CSK. I mean, he scored a 50 ball 64. That is as good as scoring a duck.
not scoring at all. Yeah.
Yeah, because in that game also Miller didn't get a chance to bat only.
Yeah. I,
So
I
this
have to completely agree on that. And even if you look at the chances in their upcoming games, they're facing teams like Punjab Kings, Royal Challengers Bangalore, and then you have Gujarat Titans and SRH to finish with. All four teams can beat them. That is the point. I mean, unless the other teams crumble completely, they fail to capitalize on LSG's bowling lineup, they're winning the games, man. I mean, in the sense the opposition are winning. I think that is probably what's going to happen to LSG, and I think they're completely over reliant on these guys,
the top
Marsh
three.
and Nicholas Puran. The top three, Markram,
Markram,
Puran, and Marsh.
Even
Yeah,
Markram.
yeah,
Markram is
the top three.
really one of the best seasons so far. I mean, he has been the most
Yeah,
impactful player for them. Even with the ball, he has
yeah,
chipped in important wickets at times. So
yeah.
even Markram has been brilliant for them.
Miller's form is also a concern. Miller also hasn't gotten them those runs that they would have wanted
Miller,
from him.
okay, I believe Miller's form you can say, but his entry points have been like that. You don't expect too much from him, I believe. David Miller.
Mm, mm.
So that is something. Okay, you can call out Miller as well because he has always been a brilliant finisher for in the IPL circuit for the last like after his resurgence with GT. He has been a too good a player to look past. He hasn't looked the same, and Badoni has been brilliant for them. He has been a surprise package of the season. And Abdul Samad, he also got important runs in one of the games. I think that was against Rajasthan Royals or someone who I think he hit four sixes in the last over to Sandeep Sharma.
Yeah,
So Abdul Samad has been good in patches. Bowling, I think their bowling over delivered. Made with Divyesh Rathi, or you can call whoever you can call, or Sardul
Prince
Thakur.
Yadav.
The first few games, Prince Yadav, whatever games he played, he looked decent. Ravi Bishnoi, you can say he was kind of mid this season as well. I think he didn't get many wickets last year as well.
I mean, it
This
wasn't a
season,
bad season, but it wasn't a very good season also. He's, like you said, mid. He has
very
had
mid.
an average season. Yeah,
Yeah. And who else? Yeah, I mean Markram has been good with that. Means as a sixth bowler, he has been really good. Mitchell Marsh is
yeah.
not bowling a lot, so that also doesn't help the cause a lot. But also the problem with Lucknow is they didn't again. with the kind of bowling they had to prepare slightly better batting wickets, I believe, in their home ground. Again, 160s kind of wickets don't help your bowlers as well because the margin of error also becomes less.
Reduces.
Also, your it doesn't suit your batting as well because apart from the top three, none of them are firing a lot. Maybe Badoni in few games he looked good, but otherwise, I mean, nobody had a very good season for them from the
Yeah.
batting perspective.
Yeah, but I think they're still reliant on those top three guys to perform. I mean, for me, let's talk about the big question. Will they make it to the playoffs? I don't think so. It's going to be very difficult for them to make it to the playoffs, and I think a lot of stuff has to happen positively for them. And the top three have to score plenty of runs to enforce them into the top four. I think if they make it to the top four, it would be quite an achievement for Rishabh Pant, the captain, and the team as a whole. Because, like I said, they are not the best side amongst the top six. I would say even KKR is stronger than them,
That is for sure.
despite being in a lower position than them at the points table. And this, I'm saying, with Lucknow having 5 wins in 10 games, they are likely to qualify, but I don't think so. They have to do really, really well, even better than what they did to get to this position. So it's going to
What
be
I would say
quite difficult.
is, what I would say is, they have used all of their luck. I believe. I mean, the game against Mumbai Indians or the game against KKR, like which they won by 4 runs. I believe they have used most of their luck so far because again Rajasthan, like 9 runs of the last over with 6 wickets in hand. Rajasthan lost from there.
Rajasthan, oh my God, the games that they have lost,
So that
mind
is some
blowing.
I mean I believe they already have used a lot of their luck, to be honest, because they have won a lot of close games. So let's see what happens. But yeah, they have means I
Maybe
mean
Rishabh Pant. Look, Rishabh Pant is a X factor. Okay, at the end of the day, if he can perform some magic and suddenly if he starts to score, then we are in some business. But still, their bowling would be something which is of a huge concern for them. I think if they get chases in all the remaining games, then they would have a better chance of qualifying.
but if you get chases like a 220 or a 230, then also
Then
I
though
mean
it
they're
is
in the
going to be.
mud. They're in the mud because against a team like Mumbai Indians, where they took chasing, which I think was the right decision in the game, in the afternoon game at Wankhede. But I believe their bowling did really well to restrict Mumbai to a 216. Otherwise, in the middle overs, I believe Prince Yadav and who was the other guy? I think Mayank Yadav only. Prince and Mayank Yadav both. I think they restricted Mumbai to a 215, 216, which could have been a 240 with the way Surya was going because wickets kept falling at the other end, so he had to hold back his game.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I mean, they were in deep trouble, and they completely lost the plot of the chase in the after the
yeah,
wickets of Puran after Puran's wicket. In the sixth over only, it seemed like okay, the game is done. You
yeah,
can't win big chases without a strong middle order. That is for sure. I mean,
for
historically, you
sure.
see who are the three most successful teams of the IPL. KKR, there is
MI,
CSK,
CSK,
there is
KKR.
always you see the 4, 5, 6, 7. Who are these players? You always have good players
Pollard,
there.
MS Dhoni, Russell.
That's it. And here you don't have anyone. You have a Miller, but again, maybe he's past his prime, or maybe he's not looking in that good a form. Can be multiple reasons.
Yeah. I think those are the 2 points. I mean, if Pant, Miller, those guys get going, and if the bowlers continue to do what they have done so far, maybe slightly better if they can do it, then Lucknow has a chance. But for me, for all practical purposes, I don't think LSG is going to, unfortunately, make it to the top four because the 5 teams above Lucknow Super Giants are even stronger, man. So yeah,
It's not
and
like no.
Huh.
It's not only that they are stronger. The thing is, the all the pieces of the puzzle are contributing. It's not like
Hmm.
only the top three will contribute and rest all will just be bystanders. That can't be the case. If you want to win a tournament, it can never help the team in that way. Everybody has to
Yep.
chip in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we spoke about collapses. Speaking of collapses and losing close games, let's move on to our next team, which is Delhi Capitals. I mean, that game against Mumbai Indians, three runouts to close off the game, to lose the game rather, to MI. I think that completely changed that season because what happened since then is DC has played 5 games, they've won 2 games, lost three, and on the other hand, MI hasn't lost a single game after that. So they just swapped fortunes. What do you know? What it reminds me? It reminds me of "This Too Shall Pass" of Babar Azam and Virat Kohli. Because up until that tweet, Babar Azam was whacking everywhere. He was getting a lot of tons of runs. Virat was struggling to get runs. After "This Too Shall Pass," Vi- Babar Azam hasn't been the same player ever since, man. And Virat Kohli kept growing in his stature. So that kind of movement happened in the DC versus MI game. And talking about Delhi Capitals, I mean, what do you think is going to happen to them? They are stated at number 5 as of now. They have 6 wins in 10 games. Normally, you would think that they would make it to the top 4, but the thing is,
The
the top
problem is
four,
they play a lot of these top four sides only. I believe Punjab Kings away they have a game, GT home game, and Mumbai they have the last game is at Wankhede.
yeah,
And so that is not going to be easy for them at all.
they have won
And what
against
is the
SRH though.
huh, so SRH also, if you give them a good batting wicket, they are going to run past you.
Hmm.
And also that is home game to SRH. So SRH will be giving them a good wicket because they have three
Hmm.
spinners. There is no way that they are going to give them anything that even holds on a bit to the surface.
Yeah,
So Delhi Capitals, I think they may run out of gas by the end of the group stage. And the problem with Delhi Capitals is I don't understand their see there is a reason why they allow you to play four foreign players, right? I mean, can you give me a solid reason why you didn't sign a backup for Harry Brook? Can you give me a reason? There is no reason, right? Because from the very start, we knew one of Faf or Fraser McGurk is going to play, correct? Because Abhishek Porel is there, KL Rahul is there, so you have to accommodate KL Rahul in the top four. If he is not opening, he has to bat at number 3 or 4. Abhishek Porel again the same thing. He has to bat 3 or 4 because you have I think they retained him, right? Abhishek Porel they retained.
they retained it.
Right. So there are already 4 spots taken. For that the same reason Stubbs is batting very low. You needed someone to partner with Stubbs, right? So what was the reason you didn't sign her? Because Harry Brook you retained for some 6.5 crores, right? And if you retain and if you use an RTM of such high value on any of the player, that means he was a part of your plans. And accordingly only you strategize your 11 or 12, whatever, the batting order. So give me one good reason why Dewald Brevis was not signed by Delhi Capitals first. Because going into the season only they knew that Harry Brook is not going to join them.
Hmm.
Is there any
Yeah, I
good
mean,
reason for that?
how many
Over?
overseas players do they have? Do they have already 8 overseas players if you
No,
include
they
Harry
don't have.
Brook?
No, even that's what I'm saying. Na, Harry Brook left. So one for one anyways you will get.
No,
If
no.
Harry Brook is
So
not
there is a
coming in,
problem. There is one problem, right? If you let's say if they had 8 players and Harry Brook is gone, they get
hmm,
Deval Brevis. In the next
yeah.
season, they won't be able to retain Brevis, or they
No,
have
but
to
Harry,
let go they have to let go
no,
one
no,
of the other
no.
players.
That can't
Hmm.
do. That won't be the case. The reason being Harry Brook is banned from IPL for the next 2 seasons as well.
Oh, yeah.
So that is something that is a huge miss from their side, I believe. Or any player they
Hmm.
could have brought in. They could have brought in a Daryl Mitchell, or maybe who? That guy from New Zealand, a Finn Allen, or anyone. He has been in good form. Finn Allen or a Tim Seifert has been in excellent form in the BBL.
Hmm.
They could have brought in anyone for that matter, but they
Yeah,
didn't.
at
They
least as a
decided
cover
not
you
to.
could have. At
Yeah.
least as a cover you could have gotten someone, even if
Now,
not in the 11. Yeah, as a cover at
now,
least.
now, see, good thing is that Akshar Patel is in the batting form of his life for the last 2 or 3 years. If you see realistically, he has been in the
Hmm.
best batting form of his life from 22 IPL, I believe. But it's like asking him to come in and hit like 40 for 50 runs every game. It's I think it's too much on him as well. And again, KL Rahul, he started off brilliantly with those knocks against RCB at Chinnaswamy. Then at Chepauk, he got a 77 or 50 or 48 or 50 balls.
Even
After
them
that,
those 2 games.
he won them those 2 games. And after that, it has been the same story again.
Brilliant start, and then you're unable to bring down to a
Convert.
good tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because in the
that's
last
really
two or
smart.
three games which they lost, if you see, I think Gujarat Titans game, he got a very good start. I think he got a very good outswinging Yorker from Prasidh Krishna. But apart from the other games, I think he killed the momentum of the game and he got out, which was his problem with Lucknow Super Giants as well. He starts off slowly, then at the point when you want him to accelerate, he gets out. In the game against
Exactly.
RCB, he got 41 of 39, and then again, another home game he got very poor against Raja. This game also he got run out. Uh, KKR. He got run out cheaply, taking a risky single. When you know, I mean, you are the one who has to go against the spin of Varun Chakravarti as well as Sunil Narayan. You are the senior batter there, and you get run out. And that was your call only, so you can't blame Faf as well.
Yeah.
So okay, that then another game I think with the super over game as well. That game also he got
Super over
doubles.
game, they were absolutely lucky to win that game, man.
Yeah,
It was Rajasthan. It was all Rajasthan. They just
definitely
they threw the game.
three away the game. So KL Rahul, I believe he has to means all the talks and all. Keep it aside. Please bat up to your talent. You showed you can do it this season at the start. I mean, there is no good reason why you are not again not doing it.
You noticed I've been quiet for the last couple of minutes, right? Because I just don't have a cricketing reason to tell you why KL Rahul is unable to score. I just don't have, man. His technique, I don't see too many flaws there. It's not the technique which is costing him. It's obviously, I think it's the mindset. But I thought he came over it. I mean, he overcame it. Looking at his innings in the first couple of games, looking at his innings in the Champions Trophy, even in the finals, he kept a cool head and finished off the game. I just I'm unable to decode what's the problem with KL. It's a very very curious case. I just
Yeah.
don't know what's wrong there.
Also, these people have the same issue as SRH last year. They don't know who is going to bat at number three for them. Some games it is KL Rahul, some games it is Karun Nair,
Hmm.
and that is also that will not also help in the long run. I can guarantee that thing. It is not going to help them in the long run. Karun Nair also. I mean, you are in such good form. Why is Virat Kohli Virat Kohli? Why nobody can be compared to Virat Kohli? The reason is he knows how to carry his form. Innings after innings, series after series. He knows how to make use of his good form. It's not like he will show his form and talent on one day and then again go off in the next 10 games. It's not like that. Every innings he carries that form. If he is in good form, he makes sure he will carry the form. You have to earn his wicket. You have to get him out. Karun Nair, you played one of the most beautiful knocks of this year against Mumbai Indians. I mean, even as a Mumbai Indians fan, I was praying that okay, please. Let him get 100, then let it, whatever happens, let it happen. Whether Mumbai lose the game or whatever. But you got out to an absolute snorter of a ball from Santner, and after that you haven't done the same at all. You got run out cheaply against KKR or what was it? No, against Rajasthan Royals. You got run out cheaply. Then trying to whack Markram out, you got bowled. Then you are getting out in these petty fashions in all the games. This is not helping your cause for any kind of selection into the Indian cricket team.
Exactly. I think I also had kind of expectations from Karun Nair. When we had Faf and Jake opening, and Jake wasn't able to do anything, I was of the opinion that you should drop Jake and let Karun Nair in, which they did, and he performed also. But like you said, he has to find ways to not get out cheaply at least. It's fine if a bowler dismisses you genuinely, but he still has to look into his dismissals, I would say. I mean, I think it's also that he's too eager to get those quick runs and he wants to show it to the world. I think that kind of is something which is kind of hampering him a bit. And also, these guys have to do this. Give him a stable number three position. You have Porel opening. You have Faf
Faf is
opening
good.
alongside him. Yeah, keep him at three, like Karun Nair at three, KL at four, then Akshar at five. I think they can stick to this batting order. Maybe KL and Akshar can interchange if the situation is so demanding that you have Faf batting and you have Faf or Karun batting, and there is a left arm spinner and a leg spinner, which is the case with RCB. You have two matchups against you. In that case, maybe you can send an Akshar Patel earlier. But apart from that one particular situation, you can stick to this top four. I think you would have no problems after that. And Ashutosh Sharma against spin has also been kind of struggling, which is also not giving them that benefit of finishing games. That's also partly the reason why they've lost a few games. Again, overnight, a batsman cannot improve on something which he lacks. So that's also a problem. They have to find ways around it. I mean, it's all about balancing each other's limitations. You know, Akshar is a very good batter against spin. He can whack them. So you have to maybe use Akshar accordingly. You have to pair him with Ashutosh. That way you can think of. So yeah, those are the kind of things that they need to work upon. But I think they are a good side. We know KP he is good with these kind of strategies. I think they'll definitely have a good chance at cracking the top four. But will they? That is the question.
Also the question should be asked to the bowling as well.
Oh, Natarajan. Natarajan. Yes, I was
Natarajan. I
this
mean,
point.
I
This
mean,
was the
give me
point that I
one good
really
reason. Give me one good reason why a Chamira is starting over a Natarajan.
exactly my point. I mean, how bad could Natarajan be? I mean, imagine he's in the worst form of his life. Just imagine this, which he's not, okay? He would still be a better option than Chamira on Indian wickets. That I can tell you. Maybe on Australian wicket where you need that pace, maybe
Even
Chamira could be a better
even
option. But on Indian wicket, there is no way Chamira is a better option than Natu.
I think last year also Natarajan's form was the one major reason why SRH made it so far, because Pat Cummins was hot and cold for them with the ball. In some games he turned up like Makrar. In other games he was like some random club bowler. He bowled like. But and who was Vubi was there. Most of the party was good, and Natarajan was the main wicket taker for them with the ball. And why will you not play someone who you bought for something like a 10 crores in the auction, mega auction? Not even in the mini auction that okay, you got him as a mm, I mean you had a lot of money in the purse and you got him as a replacement or something. Not like that. He was a part of your plans. So that is
That's also a
something I
strange move.
think
A very
also
strange
also
decision.
also I think the form of Kuldeep Yadav in the past few games, I think in the game against GT or somewhere he stretched his shoulder a bit more. while fielding, trying to stop a boundary or something. After that, Kuldeep Yadav hasn't looked the best means bowler, to be honest. He hasn't, I think he has been wicketless in most of the games. Also, his economy has gone up from 6 to almost close to 8 in these games. He hasn't looked the same bowler since that, the GT game. That is also something that is, I think, troubling DC's chances.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But I think the most positive guy for them has been Yuvraj Nigam. I mean, with batting also he's scoring crucial runs. With bowling also he's picking up those crucial wickets. I think without his contributions they would have lost two or three more games, I would say. So that is one of the biggest positives for them. And I was just looking at the squad. What I was thinking is, instead of playing Chamira, if you play Natrajan, we were talking about that one batsman, right? That they didn't take any replacement. They do have a very able guy who can fill in that role in Donovan Ferreira. They can try him also.
Exactly my point. Donovan Ferreira was, I believe, the best player for Johannesburg Super Kings in the SA20 league. Donovan
He
Ferreira, I
can,
think he was in terrific form for JSK. And I believe he is someone who can partner Tristan Stubbs in that number six, number seven role.
yeah, that will give them that attacking power. But I think the main change that I want to see is get Natarajan in, man. Come on. It's too harsh. I don't know why. Unless it's a major injury or something, there
No,
is
he has
no
recovered
way.
from the injury. He is back to match
Yeah.
fitness. KP answered it and he said that you only tell for whom we can only get 12 players in. So whom we should drop to the reporter. KP
Uh,
said in one
drop
of the
Chamira.
interviews.
Drop Chamira. Come on. Simple. Just drop Chamira. I mean, it. Why? I don't know why KP doesn't seem as part of top 12. I
I
don't
mean,
know. I just
KP
don't.
is just a mentor, man. I think this is something that the coach should tell among Badani or someone from the coaching fraternity of Delhi Capitals.
Man, it's really sad to see a guy like Nitrogen sit out. To be very honest, I mean, I think he should also ask for his release if he doesn't get featured into the 11 or 12. Let's see.
I mean,
Let's see what happens.
Natarajan walks into the 11 any day because after Mitchell
Yeah,
Stark and Mukesh Kumar, I think he has to be the third seamer by whatever permutation
exactly.
combination you go. At this point of time, even over Mohit Sharma, I'd pick a Natarajan. At any point of time, I'll pick more Natarajan over a Mohit Sharma.
Of course. Of course. And I think this one crucial decision is going to be the key for Delhi Capitals to make the playoffs or not make it. I think it will come down to this. But yeah, let's move on to our next side, which is Gujarat Titans.
I think
At this
Punjab needs to be
Punjab
next.
Kings. Punjab Kings. Okay, I skipped Punjab Kings. So Punjab Kings are at number 4 in the points table. Uh, they have played 10 games. They've won 6 of them. One was a no result against Kolkata Knight Riders, which I think Punjab would fancy themselves that they would have won. Uh, but under the leadership of Shreyas Iyer, Punjab Kings has gone from strength to strength. Yes, they've had a few off games here and there, but I think Shreyas Iyer's form is something which is absolutely critical to the side. We talked about this in our first video also, that without Shreyas Iyer, the Punjab Kings batting lineup kind of can struggle, but they've also shown that the other guys are also capable of taking the lead. With Prab Simran getting some good scores under his belt. Priyansh also has looked really good. I think the part where they were struggling, Maxwell, I think unfortunate that somebody got injured, but it's kind of a blessing in disguise for the Punjab Kings.
Maxwell anyways was not scoring any runs for them.
It's
And
a it's a good
it
thing
is
that
I believe I believe it is a problem at both ends for Maxwell as well as the Punjab Kings management as well. Because see, Maxwell, at which position his performance has been the best, whether it is in IPL or is it at in Australia. It is number four. It is number four. Number four, I don't think anyone has got more impactful runs than Glenn Maxwell in the entire T20 circuit in the last 10 years. Right? So, I mean, some days he bat number four, some days he bat six, some days he's bat seven, some days he doesn't bat at all. I think this is something the Punjab Kings also have a big problem. Apart from the top three, they don't have a proper batting order. Some days Nehal Vadera comes in at four, some days you see Marcus Stoinis. Maxwell was there. Maxwell used to come in some days. So some they need to have a clear cut plan. It's not like okay, T20 is a game of matchups. You can say on the go we change the strategy as per the situation, but that is on some days, not all days. If you could keep playing a musical chair with your batting order, then that means it's difficult for the player as well to get into a new role every single game. Anyone who comes in. One day, Marco Jansen batted at number four for them against KKR. Can you believe it?
Yeah. I mean that was a different game. I think that was just one off. But
And
yeah, I get the point. I get the point, bro.
so that is something that they have to fix. And also, I think Manoj Tiwari in Krikpa's life called out a very good thing, which I also believe that Punjab, the problem with Punjab over the years has been they don't trust the domestic, means the Indian players that much. And again in that game against KKR, when they were wonderfully poised at 150 for 1 or 150 for 2, they decided to send in a Marco Jansen instead of a Nehal Vadera or a Sashant Singh, who have been in so good form for them. So that is something they have to take care of, I believe. Punjab Kings, they have to be bit consistent with their batting order.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I can agree on that. Definitely, that is something that they can change. I think overall they also need to play the this guy Marcus Stoinis because there's no point in benching a guy like that. He hit four sixes in that game in the last over, and why would you bench somebody like that? I think he can add definitely he can add a lot of value over Suryan Shedge. I mean, I love that guy Suryan Shedge. He can give you those crucial runs towards the end. But I think uh, on pitches where there is certain slowness in the pitch, you can use Stoinis as the bowler also. So he can provide the two double value. And any day, I think at this point of time in Shedge's career, Marcus Stoinis is definitely a better batter than him.
Yeah, that
So
is for
there
sure.
shouldn't
And
be.
also the reason why Marcus Stoinis should play is Marcus Stoinis can also do a bit of bowling for them if required on the slow, sluggish wickets, or when some main bowler is going for multi main, or in most of the cases for Punjab Kings, UZ Chal hasn't completed his quota. So Marcus Stoinis can be a good, good bowler if you means good replacement bowler. You will say he can chip in with those important overs.
I think with Punjab Kings, I see all of their holes are plugged apart from this one fine tuning that they can do. Get in Marcus Stoinis. And also, what do you think about Omar Zai's selection? Can they play somebody else instead of Omar Zai? Because Ferguson got injured, so after that they have been using Omar Zai.
I believe if Omar Zai is bowling the new ball overs, and if the ball is moving up, is there is enough sea movement of the surface or there is swing in the air, then Omar Zai becomes a very lethal bowler. If not,
Hmm.
I'd say play Marcus Stoinis only. And
See,
also,
even with you can play both, no? You
no,
have
no,
Marco Jansen.
because Josh English is
I
playing
say
at
you're
the top.
playing English, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Josh
But
English
even
is
then
there.
you have but even then you have Marco Jansen, Marcus Stoinis, Josh Inglis, and then you have the fourth guy, right? You can play both.
No, who is the fourth guy for them? They don't have a batsman. Okay,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
don't have a rush. They
because they
had
have an
Loki
Indian
Ferguson.
top four, right? So yeah,
Correct, correct. Then they
Loki got
can.
injured.
Yeah, then they have a good team. Means they can balance it out properly.
Exactly, that is the point. I think if you look at the last 11 that they had from the CSK game, you can just replace Shadegate with Stoinis and then you're golden. So that also is that is something that they should do. And option wise, do you think maybe if Omarzai, yeah, I think Omarzai is good at bowler, yeah. I don't think you need to replace him with Vaishak. I was thinking if they could go in that direction,
No,
but
in
I don't
some
think
of
there's any need for
the
that.
games, in few of the games, they got in Yash Thakur. I could not understand the decision. I mean, Yash Thakur, I think he got smoked by CSK. He got smoked by. After that, also they played in the SRH game. He got smoked there as well. I mean, Vaishak won you the game against GT. Otherwise, GT were cruising. They could have chased down 245 within 19 overs only. They could have finished it with the way Butler
For sure.
and Sai were going. So, not sure means why don't you trust the Indian core that much and the proven performers? I believe.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of sad. I think those are the few things in the armor for Punjab Kings which they need to iron out. Otherwise, I think they have 1 foot in the playoffs already. So, yeah, that's that. And let's move on to the
Also,
next.
also one
Uh-huh.
more thing. Also one more thing. What would you like to say about UZ Chahal's uh, in means UZ Chahal's role in the 11 so far because he hasn't bowled all his allotted overs so far in the tournament.
I think the first half of the tournament was quite horrible for UZ, and that would that would have also led him to be dropped in favor of Harpreet Brar. But somehow they found a way to incorporate both Brar and UZ into the 11. And also, luckily, UZ has been picking up wickets in the last few games, so that will help his cause. Otherwise, that at one point there was a risk of him being dropped also from the 11. He was bowling that poorly. But now, I think from this point, I think he has to be used a bit better. Maybe he has to be used in the circumstances where there is pressure. And I think he's a good bowler. I mean, at the end of the day, he's an experienced guy and nearing already 30 into the late 30s. But I think he's still good enough. And yeah, I think if you are playing him, use him. And if you think he is not able to give you the way you think he should bowl, then just not play him at all. I would say
Like in the
that way.
CSK game, in the first game at New Chandigarh Stadium, he only bowled two
Molalpur.
overs.
Yeah,
So, okay, it was for the matchup thing or something, but if he is your premium spinner, like you bought him for 18 crores in the auction, I believe there should be a little more trust in him to get you out
exactly.
of the
And
tough overs.
yeah, give him the tough overs. I mean, that's how you challenge him, also, right? He's not there to bowl the easy overs. Look, the 19th over, which he bowled against Chennai Super Kings, he picked up 4 wickets, but it was still not kind of a very challenging over because at that point, because Dubey was off strike, if Dubey was on strike from the first ball, then it would have been a very challenging over.
It
So
was a
sometimes these
tactical.
numbers
If you
mhm,
ask me, it was a huge tactical miss from MS at that point. He hit a six. He could have
could have
touched
taken the single.
the ball was pretty wide. Means even for someone with a bad swing like MS, the ball was pretty wide for him to get under the ball. So he could have termed it for means dropped it for a single and got Dubey on strike. That would have easily made the game for 220, 210 instead of a 190.
Exactly. Exactly. So I
Because that
think
was the I think that game also Chahal bowled 2 overs and got 24 or 25 runs. Last over he only got 7 or 8 runs and got 4 wickets, out of which one was a six against MS.
yeah, that is why sometimes these numbers also, if you just look at the statistics, then they would look out. I mean, it would look a lot better. but you have to take into consideration these situations also. So that's that. And anything else do you have on Punjab, or do you want to move to the next team?
I believe means the problem which was there for them in the last n number of years. I believe they should
The
not
Indian
make
players
the
not
same
performing.
mistakes. Yeah, no, the Indian players not performing as well as not being trusted that much with the performance. I believe they have performed this year, and I believe the coach and the captain should show their backing. Someone like a Nehal
Yeah,
Vadera, I mean, that guy has to bat number four. That guy is that good.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, he has been impressing from his stint in the Mumbai Indians as well, and he plays for Punjab also in this match. His state side is Punjab, so it's good. They've got so many Punjabi boys into the 11 now. With this guy Prabhsimran Singh, then you have
Nehal
Ashdeep Singh,
Vadera,
Harpreet Brar, Nehal Vadera. Good. That's good. That they have certain local fan following also, and I think a team like Punjab Kings doing well is also good for the IPL because you build fans for the Punjab Kings also. Not to say that they don't have fans, but you build a bigger fan base, much to the fanfare like MI, CSK, RCB, KKR, those teams. So you do need that for the IPL. So I think that's a positive sign overall. But yeah, let's move on to Gujarat Titans. This team, I think we ranked them alongside MI as one and two, and thankfully they've performed. I mean, with Glenn Phillips' injury, I thought, and even they were not using Glenn Phillips anyway. We calculated Glenn Phillips into our equation. That's why we said that these guys would be top two. But without him, these guys have been performing very well, man. Also, we thought the top three, they're too reliant on top three, and once they get out, it could be doom and gloom for them. The fortunate thing
not
for
only
them is
top three. What
hmm,
Gujarat Titans, I believe Gujarat Titans have to be given a lot more credit than what we will or what we can. There is no Rabada for the last 5 or 6 games. There is no Glenn Phillips. Rutherford is not there. They are playing with just two overseas players, out of which Rashid Khan is like he is not performing most of the games till now. Basically, they're just playing with a Butler, just playing with Josh Butler, and they're still bossing the games. I believe Ashish Nehra and Shubman Gill, as a coach and captain duo, has done a brilliant, brilliant job this season.
I think there are 2 points to which this credit goes in terms of the results. One is, of course, top three. The top three has been in such terrific form that they never needed to go to number four, almost in most of the games. And the second very crucial reason is Prasidh Krishna. My God, he's bowled beautifully. And he has finally bowled like the way we all thought he would back in 2018 season when he was picked up by KKR as part of the bowling trio alongside Kamlesh Nagarkoti and Shivam Mavi. We thought Prasidh was the better of the three. And of course, his career went in that direction only. But now he came into his true self. And we could see that zip in his bowling.
I mean, finally, you can say that he is bowling like he should have all these years. I mean, 2022 had a good season, bowled the most number of dot balls until that qualifier against Gujarat Titans in Kolkata, where Miller just took him on for 3 sixes in the last over.
Yeah,
Apart from that, I believe he had bowled really well up till that point. Final, they had just 130 on the board. What what
couldn't do
at
anything.
its best, what I can do. So, but yeah, Prasidh Krishna, I believe this is his season. He has turned up finally, and kudos to the team management as well. And I think the staff at NCA as well, who took good care of him all this time because he had a long, long injury layoff. So that is good to see him finally bowl. Like I always wanted him to bowl because I have been a huge supporter of Prasidh Krishna
Admirer
from
of him, yeah.
2018 only. From the time that Virat Kohli said that he is one bowler that find difficult uh, facing in the nets because he was a net bowler for RCB in the 2018 season. KKR signed him as a replacement for Kamlesh Nagarkoti uh, mid-season in 2018.
Mm.
So from that time, I'm a huge fan of Prasidh Krishna. So finally, I'm very happy to see him board good in the IPL. And also another bowler I'd say is Sai Kishore. Man, he has impressed. I mean, the hours and hours of hard work in domestic circuit that guy has put in. I mean, from 2020, if you see, he has been the top wicket taker in all the competitions. Means may it be Smart or may it be
Tamil
Vijay
Nadu, yes.
Hazare or Ranji Trophy. He is always there in the top 5 or top 10. Sai Kishore from Tamil Nadu. So, I mean, finally, he is getting all the credit that he should get, I believe. And it's so good to see him bowl really well. And I mean, he has been their main spinner, if you see the numbers and even by
He
the game
has
performances.
he overshadowed Rashid Khan, man. Can you
Yeah,
imagine us sitting here before the start of the IPL? Maybe we knew that he was going to do well, but can you imagine saying this right now that he has outbowled Rashid Khan in the same being in the same 11? So that is
yeah.
a huge credit to him.
And also, I think only now the problem I believe with Sai Kishore this time. Now we'll talk about the problems with Gujarat Titans, where they are means where there are glaring gaps. First thing, the top three. If you manage some way to get the 2 wickets in the power play or within the first 10 overs, they really don't know how to cope up with it. We saw that in the chase against the first game only, Punjab Kings. Once Butler was out, they didn't have a way to go. Sorry, when Sai Sudarshan was out, Butler found himself in a spot of bother because from the other end, the runs were not flowing as he wanted, means likely what would have been. And Rutherford, when he started performing, means he got injured or whatever happened, they dropped him. If Washington Sundar is your number 4 batter, mind you, you are in a state of concern. You are in a state
Yeah,
of concern. That is for sure. But the best
for
part
sure.
for Gujarat Titans is in all these 10 or 11 games, whatever they have played, one of the top three has scored a 50 in each of these games. They lost or they won, irrespective of that, one of the top three has scored a 50 for them. So yeah, so that is something that they have. That is a problem. That is a big chink in their armor because there is no Glenn Phillips now. They didn't sign a replacement, and none of these players, I believe, is a number 4. May it be Washington Sundar or Shah Rukh Khan or Rahul Tewatia or who else
I think
there.
this is a team where Dewald Brevis could have fit in perfectly.
Perfectly, yeah, that is the point. And I read some reports or you can say rumors that Dewald Brevis is being approached by GT the day it was announced that Glenn Phillips is returning to New Zealand for his treatment, groin injury. I think that guy got. I thought, yeah, that's a perfect time for someone like a Dewald Brevis to come in and with the management of GT, like and the conditions at Ahmedabad, that guy would it would suit him a lot. But seems they had different plans. They didn't go for the replacement only.
Yeah. This team reminds me a lot of CSK 2021, where they were heavily reliant on the top three rather, and
No, that is not the case.
the middle
While
order was so and so.
that is not the case. Reason being, CSK 2021, if you go back, Moin Ali, every day he comes in, he scores in a 20 ball
Uh,
35 or 15 ball 30, something like a, it's a healthy contribution at a good strike rate. Then at number
Impactful
four,
contribution,
they had,
yes.
then at number four, there was Ambati Raidu. And Raidu, I believe, is one of the best players of spin bowling in history of IPL. Hands
He
down.
is one of the best middle order batsmen. I mean,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
somebody
definitely.
puts him in one of the all-time 11s as a middle order batter, then I wouldn't be
You
too
can't
surprised.
challenge. You can't challenge
Yeah,
them. At number
yeah.
4 or 5, if someone has Ambati Raidu in all time IPL 11, or if we make a Mumbai 11, we'll always play Ambati Raidu at number 4 or number 5, along with Kieron Pollard and Pandya. He has to be the guy. He was
Yeah.
instrumental in IPL. There was Ambati Raidu, and I think in 21 there was Suresh Raina as well, most part of the game. I think towards the end, Robin Uthappa came in.
Uthappa.
So they had
No,
these
but
kind of players. Okay, he
yeah,
was
you
not
can say
scoring that
they
much,
were.
But the thing is,
Hmm.
they had players who can do it and who
Who
did it.
can do it? They had potential. Yes, potential wise they had. Not potential wise, but experience wise. I think that is the core
Exactly.
difference here. Here
Exactly.
also potential wise, SRK you have. Of course, Rahul Tewatia is one guy we have no questions on. He can be your good number five, number six.
But
I
not
think
a
those
number
two
three,
positions,
but not a number
four and
four.
five.
That
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
problem for them. Or
yeah.
if you
Four
want to
and
play
five.
or if you want to play Washington Sundar, give him a consistent run of games. It's not like whenever you like you send him, whenever you don't like you don't send him. Again, it's the same problem that we are talking about Punjab Kings. Like it's not helping the players because every day it is a new role for them, and it's not helping the team as well.
Yeah, and
So
it's
in
also pretty
if
much
something
like
goes wrong, if something goes wrong for them and the top three depart early, there it can be a very big concern for Gujarat Titans.
exactly, exactly. And
And
this is why the one justification I have to give. We cannot criticize them and also say that we place them in top two. The reason I said it in the beginning itself, we placed them in top two because they had Glenn Phillips at number four. That one extra batter is missing right now for them. You place Glenn Phillips at four, then you can have a good five, six, seven with Tewatia, SRK, Sai Kishore, Rashid Khan. Then that batting order looks completely different. But why we are saying that they are in slight trouble is because if you look at it from a core perspective, they're not too much different from Rajasthan Royals in terms of the top six. Their batting also ends very early. If
it's just
Rajasthan
like that.
Royals,
It's just that the things have went in favor of them.
exactly, we would have had a different conversation if Rajasthan Royals top six had performed and they would have been in this position. Then it's very possible that these two teams would have had completely contrasting fortunes. So it's not that they have a clear distinction over other teams. They also have glaring weakness. You dismiss top three, they are in trouble. But to dismiss that top three is very difficult. At least that's what we've been seeing this season so far. I think that's the point.
That is for sure, I believe. The top three, and this will be challenged if they get a chance, if Mumbai wins the toss and chooses to field first at 1K day. Because at 1K day, against Bolt and Chahar, in the first 5 overs, the ball is going to swing. That is for sure. And if it swings, things might happen. Things might happen interesting. And also one more thing I don't understand from Gujarat Titans perspective, that what is the reason of not playing Gerard Coetzee till now? Because and what is the point of playing Ishan Sharma? Can you give me a good reason for it? I mean,
I think they
you have.
wanted to try him maybe.
I mean, okay, but I mean, you got Gerald Coetzee. Rabada is not there. I think Gerald Coetzee is a brilliant bowler in the middle overs. You already had Siraj, and you always had also you had Arshad Khan to bowl the new ball overs. I mean, you can promote some youngsters because I mean you are already winning, and I believe these players can play a long part in your scheme of things. I mean, Ishan Sharma
I
hasn't
think
bowled that badly, but again, you can have better options, I believe.
I think what happened with them was they just gave Ishan Sharma one game and then he did well. And then they gave him another game. He did well again. I think that cycle kind of made them play Ishan Sharma. As soon as he was taken for runs, immediately they switched to Coetzee. And imagine at the start, we were thinking Ahmedabad wicket, you have Prasidh, you have Siraj, you have Coetzee, and you could also play Rabada at the same time. You could have, created that magic with these four bowlers and Rashid Khan. Oh my gosh, it would have been doomed. But
Yeah, another unfortunate news that I read from Wisden today that Rabada has been temporarily suspended from playing professional cricket
oh, why? What happened?
due to use of some recreational drug. He fought
Um,
suspended by CSA. I mean, he will be freed, but with before the end of the IPL, but the exact tenure of the ban is not known. I mean, nothing bad happened. Means what we were thinking that something bad happened with his family or personal relations. That's why he went back. But it seems that is not the case. The case is that he has been suspended because of use of some recreational drug, some prohibited recreational drug, and that's why he is not playing. So CSA
Yeah.
has to lift that ban. So after that only he will be cleared to play. And that is another
Mm.
thing that he is one guy. He is one guy in special who comes in good in the big games. Kagiso Rabada. So I think he was is very crucial for GT's chances this year.
Mm.
And I hope he comes back as early as possible for them.
Yeah. I think the one thing is good for them that they have two relatively easier fixtures. One against Lucknow in their home, again against Chennai, that also in their home. I think these two games they should be able to win. The other two games are tough, especially the one that you were talking about just a few minutes ago against Mumbai Indians at Wankhede. On Tuesday, we'll find out, basically, day after tomorrow, we'll find out what's going to happen to their batting lineup if MI wins the toss and bowls first at Wankhede. We'll see. That will probably give us a good idea of how they're
Because
going to do in the
because
playoffs.
because at one kid the problem is see GT have approached the batting very smartly this year. I mean, you can call it conservative or something. If there is movement of the surface, or if they find the surface relatively difficult, they go on a very conservative mode. Like, okay, we'll score like 7, 8, or 9 runs per over, but we'll score because their power play run rate is second worst. The batting power play run rate it is like 9 or something. Only CSK had worse than them. They were ninth in that part. But the thing is, that is helping them because they are able to make up with it in most of the games. When they are not able to make up with it, they lost the game. But that
I
hasn't
think
been the case in the first time.
we, we we talked about percentage cricket for CSK, right? I think these guys have mastered that percentages very well because what they are doing is they are not aiming 250, 260 like SRH. What they are aiming is 200, 210, and they're getting it quite easily. If you look at this, we all thought, but you've always been of the opinion that 200 plus is kind of safe score only. It doesn't get chased every game. And that was right. If you look at the percentages, how many times a 210 plus score have been chased in this IPL? Not too many, right? I think they've played on that percentage only. That we'll score 210. If we lose, we lose. But we'll get to 200 to 210. That's
Exactly.
the range. And I think they've managed their limitations quite well. I think
That is
that's why
for
they've been winning games.
yeah, that is for sure. Also, their bowling. See, also I'd say the luck has favored them a bit as well. If you see, lot of catches dropped against KKR and against SRH as well. The last game, SRH was just pathetic with the in the fielding. Pat Cummins dropped the catch, then someone else dropped the catch. Lot of misfields that went for four. So these all things also do count, but against good oppositions like someone like a Mumbai Indians or maybe RCB, they're not going to get these chances. Even
In
again,
that Washington Sundar game, also they made one
against
bad
SRH
call
one,
by bowling. Yeah, SRH one.
yeah,
SRH made a
SRH
bad bowling call
call
in
by
one
bowling
over, and
Simarjit
then
Singh. Simarjit
yeah,
Singh. I mean, that was a huge mistake that they brought in Simarjit Singh. When you are seeing that the wicket is holding up, you could have brought in a second spinner. Instead, you
yeah.
brought in Simarjit, and he got stomped for 20 runs, and it completely killed the game for you. So these are things that the matchups and the percentages are going in favor of them for till now. But till when that is going to get in favor of them, that is a question mark. That is means they have the goods. I believe they should make good use of it. I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
And Butler again. I mean, Butler has been means
Butler has been
how
very
good a
good.
performer he has been. I mean, how good a batsman he has been. They thought
Again,
that
Rajasthan would be
he
looking at them and thinking, "Oh my God, this could have been us." But
yeah.
they let go of Butler, so they're paying for it.
नहीं, see, in fact, last year also, Butler finished off two of the chases for them. The 224 chase, he like last 50, 60 runs he scored off on himself. against Stark, Harshit Rana, and one more, whoever was the bowler. Sunil Narayan also was there in that game, 224 chase at Eden Gardens. He is the one who finished it with 100, brilliant 100 by Butler. He scored 100 against RCB in a 190 or 180 chase at Savai Mansingh, and you dropped him.
Yep, they're
And
paying
the,
for it.
and the openers, I mean, the hype, the percentage cricket from Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan has been on point. They don't look for expensive shots, just proper cricketing shots in the gaps, playing the field, beautiful batting. Just beautiful. I mean, they're scoring runs without an ounce of effort, it seems. So good to see them bat, these two.
And with the wickets changing like this compared to last year, I think more or less in the T20 World Cup next year also, you're going to be seeing wickets like these. You won't see those completely flat and dead tracks, which we saw in the bilaterals or in the previous edition of the IPL. Maybe Shubman Gill would find himself in contention. And you know how much these guys favor Gill. So maybe at least as a backup opener, he
See,
can find himself slotted
my
into the squad.
point is, it's not, there is nothing wrong in backing someone like a Gill, I believe, because see, 860 runs he scored right at a strike rate over 160 in 2023 only. Why do we overlook some a performance like that so quickly? And his team made it to the finals, not like he was just scoring runs for himself and the team was not doing anything. His team got into the final. He scored a brilliant 100 against Mumbai in qualifier 1. Sorry, qualifier 2. And his wicket was the main point, you can say, in both the games against CSK in qualifier 1 as well as the final as well. It could have means costed them 20-25 runs easily in the final. Semi-final, I
For
think they
sure.
were chasing. Qualifier 2, I think they were chasing, they fell short. Qualifier 1. So, I mean, Shubman Gill is not a bad batsman. Maybe he is not fitting into your explosive set of things. Maybe what you are thinking that everyone should bat with a 200 strike rate, maybe he's not fitting into that narrative. But it's not like he's a bad player or something like that.
He's not a bad player, but I think we have better options. That's the kind of scenario we have. Like you have Jaiswal and Samson as the openers. So how would you?
Samson, I believe Samson again is in a bother of is in a place of concern now because he hasn't played
Man,
this
yeah.
IPL. No, why
Bro,
it's see,
you don't have a middle order wicket keeper in that case.
no, there is a Jitesh Sharma. You never know how the things will turn. Or there is a KL Rahul as well. Right now, he's also batting number 4. So you never
Please.
know the thing. You never know how the things work out, right? Because Rishabh Pant is surely out of contention. Ishan Kishan also the same problem. But Jitesh Sharma relatively has played well. Whatever chances he got or wherever he got chance to bat, he has batted kind of good only. KL Rahul has got 2 match winning knocks. Samson, on the other hand, hasn't played the entire season only. So apart from the first game 50 or whatever he got, he hasn't got many runs. So again, he doesn't have things to support his case right now. If he is dropped, also the England series he had was pretty horrible. Barely got 20 runs in any of the games. So 24 or
21 game, I
something.
think he got.
21 he got in the first game at Eden. After that, all single digit scores. So that is also something that can be an issue for him. Let's see what happens.
Oh. I just hope that Samson comes back really strong and really well for us because I think it's about time. For once, we should back him, is what I believe. Because Sanju
Yeah,
Samson, we've
definitely.
heard about him so much, we've seen him, his talent. Maybe just once we should back him till the end.
But the
Till
problem with
T20.
but the problem with Samson is he has never been means the luck doesn't favor him a lot.
That is the problem for him. Yeah. At the crucial point of time, he got injured. I mean, this IPL season could have been, you know, a game killer for him. I mean, that no questions on his spot. He could have done it that way. But unfortunately, he had a bad England series and then he got injured in the IPL. So kind of feel sad for him. But yeah, I think we should still back him and I think we will. Gambhir is a fan of him, so he should be good. But yeah, let's move on to the top two. I think you are very happy. I can see the happiness on your face. Mumbai Indians have made it to the top two, and I won't be surprised if they finish as at the top of the points table, or in the worst case at second. And I don't know if you were part of those groups. I think it was one of my school group chat where we talk about cricket. I predicted MI is gonna win 5-5, and they did.
Yeah, that's
And
really good.
and we made some suggestions that one change MI needed. That also shows how good a side MI had, and we had no doubts about them. We were just bashing them over one mistake that they were making, which they are still making, but they are so good that they are winning. And that is Will Jacks at number three. I still say, please, please, please bat Sky at three, Tilak at four, Pandya at five, Will Jacks at six.
I mean, that will be the story. I believe most of the games going forward, that will be the story only. And we have seen it. I think Will Jacks only in the Lucknow game also he got good runs only 29 of 19 or 32 of 20, something like that. He got 150 strike rate. It is not bad. Whatever games he got, he is not bad. It's just like
He's not bad.
he's,
It's just about you're not utilizing Tilak.
yeah.
He'll give you
Now
more
the problem,
runs.
no, yeah, that is one considerations that we have. But the problem with Tilak has been all this time he has been horrible in the black soil wickets. And to beat Mumbai, all the teams that we are playing away in this season, they are you mean they are preparing black soil wickets. Maybe Lucknow Super Giants, they gave a black soil wicket to us. Then Gujarat Titans, they gave a black soil wicket to us. Chennai, anyways, the ball turns, so doesn't matter what soil wicket they give. KKR, luckily we don't have an away game with KKR, so that is fine. Then whom did we play? SRH only they didn't give a black soil wicket because they only can't score 100 runs. That is the only reason they didn't give us a black soil wicket. I think Punjab Kings, when we travel to Dharamshala, they will also not give a very good wicket for us to bat. So the
Hmm.
problem with Tilak Verma has been he is just not able to get the runs on black soil wickets. Against Gujarat Titans as well as the Lucknow Super Giants, the games. Okay, Gujarat Titans we maybe consider 20 runs extra on that wicket. It was not a 190 or 200 wicket. We considered like 197. But Lucknow Super Giants, if Lucknow Super Giants can score 200 against your bowling, then definitely that score is chaseable against their bowling with the power pack batting lineup that we have. It was only
Yep.
because of Tilak's game or Tilak's performance that day, that it retired out game. I believe that was the point of difference for us. Even if he scored 10 runs more, we could have won the game. We lost by 12 runs. If he could have scored 35 of 25 instead of 23 of 25, we could have won the game. That 12 runs. That was the game. But he just doesn't seem to get away with the game with the in the black soil wickets. Somehow it has been a
See,
problem for him. So, and that
see,
is the
I'll tell you.
only reason I believe they are not very much confident on Tilak at number three.
But I think this is something that they have to think about because you look at Tilak's failures on the black soil wickets, all of them have been when he's batting slightly lower.
No,
You
number
look at
three
his
he batted.
international,
He batted number three
no,
in
he
both the
batted,
games. Both the games he
did he?
batted number three. Yeah, that is the problem.
Maybe I don't remember that exactly, but I think you still got to back him. See, look at his international games also. Yes, black soil wicket is a problem, but the problem is against spin, his acceleration is kind of not there. It's there when he's well set into his innings, and then he's able to capitalize on it. But if you look at his international games also, even the 100 that he scored, not South Africa, but I think in the England series, one game, the Chennai game, if you see, there also he was struggling, but he finished off well in the end to win the game. There is this weakness, okay, but he is working around it. It's not as bad as Ishan Kishan. Ishan to completely struggles and gives up. But Tilak is actually making an effort to improve on that forehand, and he has already done it. But he'll be only able to do it if you give him number three. Because by being at number three, he gets to bat in the power play also sometimes. More often than not, if one of the opponent gets out early. Even if they are not out early, he gets some balls against pacers, which he can use to get acquainted with the pace of the wicket. And once he does that, he can be dangerous against spin also. So I think that is something that they have to consider because doesn't matter. I think Tilak Verma would be a better player on a black soil wickets as compared to a Will Jacks any day because, bro, by birth Tilak is an Indian batter and Will Jacks is English. Definitely Tilak is the better option there, regardless, no matter what you say. Or do Sky
That
at
is
four, Sky at three, and Tilak at four.
that is
The
what they are
higher
doing.
Tilak, but
That is what they are
I think
doing so far.
I think that is also something that they also have thought because the games where Will Jacks comes in early is when the openers get out very early. I think they are doing it, but I think I would like to see a consistent approach. See, we have criticized other teams to have a stable top four. We cannot let MI go off easy just
For
because they're
sure,
winning.
for sure.
So
And
that is
that
something that
is
I would
something
see.
that they have to be very clear about. I believe against against CSK, they got it completely right that they brought in Surya Kumar Yadav at number three. Surya batted number
Yep.
three there. That was the right call there. And with the because the spinners were there were three spinners: Jadeja, Ashwin, as well as Noor Ahmad was there. Although there was the dew was starting to come in, but still they had three spinners. That was a perfect choice. And from that game onwards, I think they made it a right call that the best batter will face more balls.
Exactly.
The batters in form.
Surya
So that
Dada.
is
Surya Dada.
yeah. So Surya, after all the bashing that we did against him for that RCB game, he has looked a complete beast after that. I mean, Surya Kumar Yadav is
Yes.
looking like Surya Kumar Yadav after a long, long while. And
And
what
I
I have
couldn't be more happy about this. Couldn't be
and
happier.
what I have heard is Surya Kumar Yadav that all the blaming that people did or we did as well. All this time from last IPL onwards, he has been playing with a troubled elbow. After means the World Cup, post the World Cup, he has been playing with a troubled elbow. So that is something that we hadn't considered till now. So that was the
Because
major
that news
reason.
wasn't public. That wasn't
Yeah,
a public news yet. So how
yeah.
would we consider it?
That yeah. So that was a major reason why the runs were not flowing for him. Thanks to this break after this England wide ball series, that after that we for sorry yeah. So this England white ball series. After that, only he got that long required break, and now he's performing up to his potential again.
That's a good thing, but then I think he did it for the captaincy in that case because if he wouldn't have been there, Pandya would have been made the captain.
Yeah,
So
but that
not
is
right,
something that you
but okay.
can't. But you can't blame him for that, right?
I
He's
won't.
playing
I won't.
one format. Means he's
He
playing only one
almost cost
format,
himself.
and yeah, he's only playing one format, and many of those things like he already knows that he's not going to play red ball or maybe white even ODI cricket anymore for India. So they have means everyone has ambitions, right? You can't.
I mean, whatever it is, good that he's finally scoring the runs, and that's the most important part. And this form he should carry into the international season as well. I don't know who are we facing first. I think it's West Indies or Bangladesh, some lower tier team only to start off. But yeah, that's good. Good for us that he's back in form. He should keep on bashing everybody, all the bowlers. That's what I want from Surya Dada.
The best part about it about his batting is he's looking really comfortable against all kinds of spin, which was his trademark before this injury.
Mm.
Surya is flawless against spin. He can play from anywhere from deep fine to your uh, cow corner with the sweep shots. So that is
Yeah,
again we are seeing that facet of his game coming back again. So that is a huge positive as a Mumbai Indians fan as well as an Indian cricket fan. It's a huge
yeah.
positive. And
And
another thing,
bowling. Trent Bolt, he became a beast all of a sudden again. He was looking
And
washed in the first few games, if I have to use
yeah,
that term.
yeah, and I believe the best thing. See, the first few games, the major problem was there was no Jasprit Bumrah as well. So once Jasprit Bumrah was back and he started to find his groove, things started operating in a different manner. That is for sure because a player like Bumrah, when he comes into the 11, the squad is definitely on a different level.
Yeah,
So that is for
yeah.
sure. That is one
And
thing.
and I think what Mumbai Indians did against Rajasthan Royals, Deepak Chahar and Trent Bolt, I think that's the kind of opening bowling that you've been looking for right from the start of the season. I think you should be thankful that start of the season was so bad, and these guys are finally coming into the picture, and they are making it. They're getting into good form, and the picture is now complete right at the business end of the tournament. So this is going to help you guys win the trophy again for the sixth time.
Yeah, I do believe we can, and we have all the weapons in our arsenal to do that. I think the
Only the
best
spin
thing so
spin
far,
bowling part is something that you guys
spin bowling.
still have.
See, spin bowling. I don't think MI all means. And most of the years, if you see spin bowling, they were never much reliant on. If you say, apart from Harbhajan Singh, and in earlier years there were Pragyan Oja for that 11 to 13 cycle. Apart from that, we didn't have any prolific spinner. Kunal Pandya was our mainstay, and then Rahul Char for a year or two. So Mumbai Indians never had been too over reliant on spin. So that's why when Santner came in this year, I thought, okay, all the gaps have been now filled. And Karan Sharma also is a capable bowler. Has got all the experience, and he also won us a game against Delhi Capitals. He got two or three quick wickets, and that completely changed the game in our favor.
It
I
changed the
think, yeah,
tournament for you guys.
yeah. And Santa, I mean, Santa has been Santa Claus for us. I mean, that ball to Karun Nair, what was that? Seven and a half
That was a
degrees
ball.
turn.
That was the ball changing tournament for Mumbai Indians. I think let's say MI goes on to win this season, which I think they will. 5 years down the line, you're going to see this was the turning point of the tournament. Because from
Yeah,
there, MI never looked back.
that is for sure. And I mean, another thing, another huge thanks that Hardik Pandya, the captain as well as the bowler, batting whenever he got a chance, he's fired. I think two or three games he just completely rocked. I think the RCB game and the game against this one, like the last game only against Rajasthan Royals. I think Hardik just the Hardik the batter that we were hoping to see has finally arrived. And Naman Dhir, I think he has the toughest batting position to be honest in the 11. I mean, he never knows when he is going to bat, but whenever that guy got a chance, he has played all the good shots in the book. He looks so elegant, Naman Dhir. I
Yeah,
mean, it feels sad that he bats at number 7 or 6. He's a guaranteed top order batter for any other side he plays. He's that good, Namandir.
yeah.
So these are few things, and also the biggest problem or the point of concern it was for us was the opening partnership. And in these few games that we won, I think 6 games we won. I think one of the openers performed in each of the games, at least one, if not both. So that is a major, major plus. I mean, Rohit Sharma coming back into form could not have asked better.
I think he was never out of form. It's just Rohit Sharma being Rohit Sharma.
No, I mean in the last few games, even the
He
Rajasthan knock, if you see 53 of 36.
the difference I've seen in Rohit Sharma is now he's taking a bit of time. I think he's
Yeah,
going
that is
back
the
to
thing.
his old ways, and that is what is helping him.
Yeah, because he's not going to go looking to go very hard from very first ball.
I think that's also a very good adaptation. We talked about GT targeting those 200 to 10 scores. I think Rohit Sharma also comes from a school of thought where he wanted to get 250 to 60. And I think he has kind of bogged down a bit, and he has assessed that, okay, teams are winning with 200 to 10. This is not the same season That was last year. We are not getting flat wickets everywhere. So I think he has assessed that and made that tweak to his game, which is kind of his default setting. So that also helps. And I think that's been the one difference due to which he's now scoring runs for MI, which he wasn't able to do in the first few games.
Yeah, that is for sure. And that is helping the team a lot. And that is a major reason why we are sitting in the top two. And Rohit
Yeah.
Sharma gave scoring big runs. That means the team has a lot of confidence as well.
Yep. Yep. So anything else you want to add on to Mumbai, or let's move on to the last but not least, the Royal Challengers Bangalore.
Mumbai, I think they are good. I mean, what else? I don't think they have done anything that wrong. Apart from that one thing that you talked about, that batting order thing, that I think they should have a fixed plan. Other than that, I don't think any problem currently with the team. They
Yeah.
have a
I
big
think
game
this
coming
team,
against Gujarat Titans. Let's see, because that game will give us a very clear picture about how they are going to fare off
both the sides
against.
are. How both the sides are, to be honest. If MI
Yeah,
wins, we'll show that MI is back, well and truly back. They are well and truly back, but we'll get to know that they are in beast mode if they win
yeah,
7 out of 7. Then let's see Mumbai do that and let Hardik give that tribute to MSD this time. Seven
yeah.
wins in
I
seven.
mean, he would love to. I mean, he would love to do that more than anyone else.
Yeah, yeah. So that's that for the Mumbai Indians. Let's move on to the final team on our list, which is currently at the top of the table, Royal Challengers Bangalore. I mean, they're coming off fresh from a huge win against the Chennai Super Kings. I think historically, Chennai has always won the important games versus RCB till I would say 2019 season. From 2020, not every season, but in one of the games in 2020 season, in last season and this season. So these 3 seasons have been RCBs. They have won the more important games against CSK, and this season they have achieved a historic feat by doing a double over CSK. They have done it for the first time in the IPL history. So that should tell you that RCB is not the same old RCB which everybody thought they would. They had a fantastic auction, but even then, RCB had fantastic auctions in the past. There is always a bit of skepticism, even in Virat's own words, so, that anything can happen with RCB. So there was a bit of skepticism with respect to how RCB would do in terms of performance on field, but I think they've been phenomenal. They do have certain weaknesses which we will talk about, but overall they've been almost pitch perfect. What did you think about RCB this season? I think.
RCB, I would say RCB hasn't played the best cricket that they could have, but the results have been in favor of them. In multiple games, I can give you instances. Like yesterday only, I was in the stadium. I think CSK was so good, so clinical in most of the game, means most part of the both the innings. Like from 10 over mark till the 18th over mark in the first innings, they conceded somewhat around 55-60 runs only and got all the wickets, major chunk of wickets. And again in the last 2 overs, they just gave it away. Okay, some things don't fall into plan, or it was just God's plan that Romario Shepherd out of nowhere comes in and scored a 13 ball, 14 ball 50, right? But thing is, in the batting part, CSK was so ahead of the game. I mean, CSK at the 15th over mark were at 160, where RCB scored in 18 overs. So they just had the same number of runs to get as RCB did it in the last 2 overs, in 5 overs. So, I mean, CSK also always does this percentage cricket, and somehow the percentages didn't come off yesterday. That is something, and lot of drop catches. Everything was in favor of CSK. No ball six. Everything happened, but somehow they could not finish the game. That is one game. Then against Mumbai Indians as well. Mumbai Indians, I believe, Surya Kumar Yadav, I mean, the one of the best players of spin, struggled to connect any of the sweep shots against Surya Sharma. He conceded 3 over 17 runs. Last over went for like 15, 16 runs. If that 3 over 17 could have been 3 over 27, we could have won with a over to spare. But that didn't happen. So they haven't been playing the best cricket so far, but the results have been in favor of them. If you see properly, there are
Best
things.
cricket they could play, I would say. Mm,
They can play better cricket. That is for sure.
mm.
Even against this Delhi Capitals game, that Krunal Pandya won the game, won them the game. That game also, I believe Delhi had a lot of chances. They got rid of Bethel and Padikal very quickly, but they didn't hold on to the game. That even Patidar got out, run out from Karun directed, but Delhi could not, means lack, means captaincy errors or whatever you can call. Delhi could not capitalize on the game. I means on their chances. So I believe RCB has been bit lucky so far. And yesterday they were completely, you can say, they used up all their luck yesterday. Four drop catches, one no ball six, still they managed to win. So
Yeah,
there are
that was
points
lucky,
of
but
concern. There are points of concern for RCB. I mean, batting wise, they have been well and good. I mean, most of the games they have scored above par totals whenever they uh, and for in the chase. I mean, it's just like Mumbai Indians having Bumrah. It's a cheat code. Virat Kohli is a cheat code in chases. You can say that he's playing slow or whatever, but the thing is, in all the chases that they have done, they have won because Virat Kohli has scored the 50 runs. It doesn't
exactly.
matter
I think that, and
if he
I think
plays
this is
slow or fast.
one thing that I go ahead.
It doesn't matter if he plays slowly or fast because in the end, the result matters. And in chases, we know how good he is with those calculations. Nobody can beat him
Exactly,
in that.
and exactly, and this is where I want to defend Virat Kohli as well. See, I think it's been a very common fashion nowadays to criticize Virat Kohli for his strike rate. Bro, I would say you guys have never watched any cricket before 2021 season, let's say. I think it's coming from that point of view because everybody is so consumed with what happened last year. Everybody getting those 250 60s. People think that Virat Kohli is not a good T20 batter. He's just stat padding. Bro, you could not be more wrong. I mean, this guy is a T20I goat, not just run chases, even in the first bat. So the generation that we are living in right now is different. This 260s, 280s, this was not there before. Nobody used to do it. Okay. At that point, to be consistent in T20 Is or in T20 in general, it was a huge task which Virat Kohli achieved. Virat Kohli, David Warner, these two guys to score impactful runs, match winning runs. So I don't get the criticism for Virat Kohli, especially in run chases. Man, he's winning you games. It doesn't matter he scores at a 110 or 120, 115. It's not the KL Rahul thing where strike rate is overrated and that kind of stuff. It's not that. But Virat Kohli is not losing you games. He's not taking you till the 19th over and then losing off the game, which happened multiple times with KL, which is why he was criticized that you are not finishing the games. But it's not the case. Virat Kohli is staying not out and he's finishing the games. Even if he's out, the game is done by then. So people need to give that credit to him instead of just blindly criticizing, oh, this guy always stat pads. I think it really hurt me uh, when I saw these kind of comments on his posts, like on Twitter and everywhere. So it's kind of
See,
hurtful.
I believe, I mean, someone who has literally ruled the game for last 15 years at least last 15 years. I mean, you have to be a bit respectful to him. May it be T20I or IPL cricket. He has been so consistent for them. So consistent. I mean, even in this season, if you say that he is slow or whatever, where is RCB sitting at the table? Number one, they won
Exactly.
7 games, or I think they won eight. 7 or 8 they won. Seven they won because three home games they lost, right? They lost three home games, first three games.
Eight. They
So,
won eight.
and
They played 11. No.
okay, they played 11. Okay, okay. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Seven out of those eight wins, Virat Kohli has 50 plus, right? And if I take those runs out, so okay, I'll give you an instance. Okay, he didn't. You are saying that he's not batting that quickly. Yesterday, he scored 63 of 32, almost 200 strike rate. Against Mumbai Indians, he scored 60 of 34 or 33, which is again in the high 180s. Consider that he got out in the first over. Consider because Phil Salt got out at 4. Phil Salt hit a 4 and got out to Trent Bolt in the first over itself. Consider Virat Kohli got out as well. Do you imagine this RCB batting against the Mumbai Indians at Wankhede scoring a 220 without those 50
Not at
60 runs
all.
from Virat Kohli? No, right?
Not at all.
And it's not like he scored a 40 ball 50 or something. He scored it at 30 balls, 165, 180 strike rate. So, I mean, what is the criticism for? I mean, if they're losing games, which often happens in case of KL Rahul, you criticize. That is for sure.
Exactly.
But if the
Exactly, man.
guy is winning, if the team is winning with his runs, he's scoring match winning runs, and he has done this for last 15 years, I don't see if he is the part of the problem.
He is not at all the problem. Not even part of the problem. He is part of the success. Why RCB is so successful today, and why that there are so many fans for RCB. I
If
mean, I
you
just
ask
don't get why.
if you go and ask a Devdutt Padikkal who has been so good this season, and Devdutt Padikkal I'd say has been one of the most important reasons of success for RCB. He has scored
Exactly.
in all the away games that they have won. At least in 4 out of 5 games he scored a 50 or match winning runs. I mean, against CSK
Quick
he scored
50.
a 40, 13 ball 27. Against Mumbai also he scored a 15 ball 30 or something. Then against Punjab he got a 50, and in one more game he got a 50.
Basically, he did
Again,
a Moeen Ali of 2021.
exactly. And why do you think that is the reason? Because there is Virat Kohli batting on the other end. He guides them so beautifully. Even yesterday, if you would have seen how well he was directing Bethel, how good was that partnership? And after he fell, there was a phase of like 4 or 5 overs where they could not get even a boundary. Even with Rajat Patidar and Padikkal was there, then that guy came in, Jitesh Sharma, all these guys came in. They could not score runs. They could not buy a run against Patirana and Nur Ahmed. Rajat Patidar, whom we hail as a hitter of spin, probably the best player of spin currently in domestic circuit, could not buy a run against against Nur Ahmed.
Muram.
He scored a.
Yes.
I think Rajat Patidar yesterday had a game to forget. I think he hasn't had a worse game than this, both as a captain as well as a batsman. 11 of 15 against a team which predominantly bowls spin, it's extremely poor, I believe. And
Yeah,
that too
it
at
was. It was.
and the wicket was not doing anything, I'd say. The wicket was not doing it. It was a complete red
It was
soil
a flat
wicket,
wicket. Yeah.
consistent bounce, the traditional Chinnaswamy wicket. Okay, so that's the importance of the man. You are just seeing him for the runs that he is scoring, that it is not up to the mark and all. And tell ask him, the one who is criticizing, against whom are you putting them? Putting him. You are putting him against a Yashasvi Jaiswal. Where is Yashasvi Jaiswal team on the table? Today he had a chance to get his team home. How many runs did he score? How many runs did he score? Tell me.
He got 30
He's
or
at the peak
something.
of his powers,
35.
right?
Yeah.
Wickets are falling from one end. Why would you go on a rash shot against your own matchup? Against Moeen Ali, you try to hit him out of the ground when the asking rate is under control, but wickets have fallen. No, right? Then
Yeah.
whom did you pit him against? Against your Shubman Gill, right? He's at par, if you can see. And other who are the other guys? Abhishek Sharma, strike
Shubman Gill
rate
in his peak. Shubman Gill in his peak is at par with Virat Kohli, who
at 36.
who has retired, who has retired from T20 format.
Exactly. Exactly. That is the question. Against whom? Abhishek Sharma. How
Bro,
many runs Abhishek Sharma
see,
scored?
2024 final, 2024 World T20 final. It was a not a good innings from Virat Kohli. Wasn't very poor, but it was average. An average Virat Kohli innings is a man of the final innings.
Is the
So
reason
that
why
is
we have a
the
cup.
standard.
I'll tell you in harsh words, it is the reason why we have a cup. Him and Akshar Patel. Akshar Patel's those 45 runs of 27 and Virat Kohli's 78 of 56. These are the reasons. He did a Marlon Samuels that day. Marlon Samuels back in 2012 and 2014. What did he do? 2012 and 2016. Everybody got out. Marlon Samuels calmly scored a 60 ball for 80. That's it. And Windies won both the World Cups. You remember,
Yeah.
Mark? You remember Carlos Brathwaite and all, but West Indies were down for 80 for 6, chasing 170, 160 at Eden Gardens. How did we get to that point that okay, you can finish off the game? We need only 19 of the last over. We do have a realistic chance, right?
Yeah.
That is the case. So
Yeah,
people
there was only
do
one
forget.
phase where he could have done better in that final, but otherwise he was good. And I
Exactly.
think they have built this narrative on social media, which I
I
highly
think
disagree with. Yes, Virat Kohli does tend to play slow sometimes, but I don't think that has happened in this season. Apart from one
this
game
season or
against
last
CSK,
season as well.
this season one
CSK,
game it has happened. CSK
that
31 of
Chepauk game.
30, Chepauk
Chepauk game.
game. Apart from that, it has never happened. I don't think it has happened in any other game.
He has planned his innings so beautifully. I mean,
Yeah,
it is his story is same as Cristiano's. I mean, you write or you speak about Cristiano, you get all the chips. It's like that
exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
You just need to make mention of Virat Kohli and you will earn money. You'll make cash. It's like that.
Yeah. So apart from Virat Kohli, we spoke about Devdutt Padikkal, how impactful his innings have been in all of the away games. Even at home also, I think one or two innings he has done well. Patidar, I think, hasn't had a good season. Uh, he has had only maybe one, two good innings in this
Two
season, but
innings.
apart from that, not much.
Chennai and Mumbai both the games.
Yeah.
Chennai away and
And
Mumbai away both the games.
also, I think he wasn't needed also too much, but he is somebody who has to improve the middle over scoring because yesterday also yes, Romario Shepherd came out of the syllabus and finished off from out of nowhere, but it was a 240 wicket regardless. You could have gone to 240 after the start, which was given by Jacob Bethel again. They replaced Phil Salt, and Bethel also is performing for them, which is again a positive. I think bench strength is the key. They never had this kind of bench strength before. That one major injury and you're gone. It was that kind of thing for them. But this time, despite not having Salt, he's out due to fever. Bethel is doing a very capable job. And yeah, so after that start, you should have gone on to 240. If not 240, at least 220, 230 without that innings of Shepherd. That Shepherd innings could have given you a 250 had you batted well. So I think that's on Patidar. He needs to improve his scoring in the middle overs. And
And
I think he has to take up
mind
more
you,
responsibility. That's for sure.
mind you, Patidar in all the home games, I don't think he has crossed 20 runs in any of the games.
Mm.
I mean, I don't remember because he got out early against Delhi Capitals, pretty early. Against the shortened game against Punjab, also he got some 15, 16 runs, barely.
Mm.
Yesterday he scored 11, and two more games they had, right? Who
Yeah.
were the two other games?
It was forgettable. That's the point, that it was
Yeah,
kind of forgettable
that
only. It
is
wasn't
see,
too good.
that is not helping the cause of the team because see what problem MI has, the same problem they also have. The middle over spin. How are they going to tackle? We have Surya, they have Patidar. He has to come good. Because last season, the major reason why they were in the playoffs because Patidar scored 550s on the trot, and all the 50s were scored at over 200 strike rate because he tonged spin. He was a major contributor.
Exactly. I think so. That is one point of concern. Apart from that, Krunal also has one or two good innings, and I think he won the game against DC for them. And apart from that, the best thing that has happened to them is they found Mario Shepherd. Livingstone, oh my God, he wasn't performing for them at all. They replaced him with Shepherd. So Shepherd and David. Now that is a very dangerous middle order. Dare I say, almost a title-winning middle order. I say almost because they haven't won the title.
Lower order, not middle order, lower order.
Yeah, yeah, lower finishing. Basically, the finishers. They have that is something that teams would see and genuinely be fearful of. Unless you got a
That is for
Bumrah, of
sure.
course.
No,
But
then
yeah,
also because David in the last 3 or 4 months, David has been terrific hitting form. I have been following the BBL, follow most all the leagues around the world. So in the BBL also, Hobart Hurricanes won the title this year, and David was a cornerstone for them. Major contributor, Tim David. So I
yeah,
believe Tim David, it was I don't know why Mumbai Indians let go of him because they really didn't need Jax now because Jax is contributing more with the bowling. We didn't require him that much with the bat. That's why we are not saying anything.
yeah.
But
So I think
that is something. I mean, Mumbai could have played slightly smartly, and even Shefford was good for them. I mean, he hit Nokia last year for 30 runs in an over, and that took the game completely out of DC's reach in the chase. So these are few things that I mean they could have done better. Means RCB has done really better than most teams on the planning part. But the problem with with playing Shepherd, is they are really weak on the sixth bowling option part. Because yesterday also, if you see, they had this concern because yesterday, I mean, it was a huge tactical error from MS because you know that they have one spinner, they have to bowl it, otherwise they have to bowl Romario Shepherd. They had one over each of Krunal Pandya, uh, Suyash Sharma, and this guy, Romario Shepherd. Means Shepherd can bowl any n number of overs, but he was the sixth bowling option yesterday, and he was the one, the 10th over where that was a bad captaincy move from Patidar. Given Krunal had an over left, you gave it to that guy Shepherd, and he got tonked for 18 runs, and it completely swung the game in favor of CSK from that point onwards. So these are small details that help you uh, change the game.
discuss. Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
so after that, CSK, if Dubey had come in place of MS at that point, or even in point of brevis, I think CSK could have finished the game in the 19th over itself, the way they were going. Because there was
Yeah,
no way any captain is going to bowl a spinner to Dubey at that point of the innings. And that too in a ground like Chinnaswamy. Yesterday there was a lot of dew. The temperature fall was like 6-7 degrees. This is considerable amount of dew. And Suyash
yeah,
Sharma, mind you, Suyash Sharma is the weak link of their bowling attack. Let's be honest, because lack of experience, simply. That he's a very young guy. And yesterday it was evident. Like he got for 3 overs 37. Last over he only got away with 6 runs, where they should have attacked him. And that's where I believe CSK lost the plot of the chase.
yeah. I think that also says that he is the pivot of this bowling lineup. So he will determine the game in a way
Exactly.
because if he
It's
bowls
his
well,
4 overs. It's his overs which actually determine the result of the game.
that's the point for RCB. And I agree with you that their bowling lineup is kind of falling short because they don't have a sixth bowling option if they're playing Sheffield. But I think, man, it's the way to go for them. See, they cannot be perfect. At least one department they have to solidify. If it's the batting, it's the batting. I don't think RCB had this kind of a threatening batting lineup ever. Maybe see,
Since
you put
2016.
in since 2016, you put in Chris Gayle, AB de Villiers, and Virat Kohli at top three. Obviously, any other batting lineup will look minuscule
Weak.
in front of that. Yeah, but the thing is, at that point, they relied on three batters. In 2016, they had KL and Watson in the middle overs. In the middle order, I don't trust that much, but okay, you can say you had five batters. Now you have so many batters you could rely on to give you maybe not 60, 70 every game, but 20, 30 they can, and quick 20, 30. Everybody is capable of giving you that from 1 to 7. I think that
In
is
fact,
something.
8. Nal Pandya actually bats 8. Yesterday, if he
Yeah,
came out to bat, he would have batted number 8.
yeah. And Kunal Pandya is the clutch guy also. He'll give you those 50, 30 ball 50 kind of thing he can give you when you are in trouble. Final, 2017 final. So he has that capability, not saying you can rely on him that he'll give, but he has done it in the past. So overall, there are a lot of elements in the batting lineup whom you can rely on. So I think that is the difference between the old RCB and the new RCB. And what I found out is there is a difference in the mindset also. The game that I'll talk about is the Punjab game in Bangalore. It was a rain-curtailed game. I think it was a 14 over game. Yeah, they didn't get to a score which they could defend. But what I really liked is the attitude that they showed in that game. They were 42 for 7. The old RCB would have been bundled out for 50, and then they would have considered the runs quite easily, quite easily. But this team, with Tim Davids finishing, they extended that 42. Instead of getting all out, they extended it to 94, 95. And then at one point, if not for Nehal Vadhera's quick knock towards the end, maybe Punjab would have. I'm not saying they would have lost, but they were in a spot of bother. RCB put them in a spot of bother at one point when they were, I think, 7 overs or 8 overs, 50. So I
Yeah,
think,
a bunch of wickets in the middle overs.
yeah, yeah, they at least showed that fight, which I think the old RCB lacked. So that is why I think. Uh, let's come down. Do you have any other point about RCB, or let's come down to the final predictions to close off
I
the video?
think, I believe we has to come a bit better. Apart from that
Mm.
Punjab game away, I don't think
Mm.
Bhuvi has bowled really well this season. I think he has to step up because he is a major. I mean, he holds a major key to their success. Because Hazelwood,
Hazelwood,
we
of
know
course.
Hazelwood he will come good, but Bhuvi yesterday, what I saw from Bhuvi, he is giving that one bad ball, one boundary ball per over at least, even in the best overs, and that is not helping the cause of the team. I think these are small things that I think he's experienced enough to realize that, and he can do better in those situations. Because last yesterday also, he bowled five good balls, and the last ball was a slot ball, both to MS as well as the one to Ayush Matre, and both of them went for sixes. Otherwise, they could have been a very good point of means RCB could have a greater advantage going into the last over. But movies and also that over against Matre. I mean, you have been the best power play bowler for in the league for the last n number of years. I mean, you considered six boundaries. That is not pretty much expected of you. Okay, that can happen a game or two, but I don't think he has been that good this year in the power play as well. Even in the game against Rajasthan Royals, Bangalore, he considered 20 runs. So I mean, I think Bhuvi has to come good for them for their title chances.
Yep, I think so too. And I think that's only the one part that they are lacking, their bowling point of view. They have to be slightly luckier to win the games. There they need a bit of luck. But I think batting is sorted at least. That is one positive. So yeah, overall, I think that's all that we have for RCB. And what I was trying to say is, looking at their spirit, I think the way they put up the fight, even in losing causes, whenever that happened, I think they are going to be one amongst the top two. I think MI and RCB will be the top two.
Yeah, also
Even if they're
RCB
not
has
top two, even if they're not top two, they are going to make it to the final somehow. I know that. I believe that. I have MI versus
no,
RCB as my final.
I think RCB will do it because they have easier games now because they have KKR home, LSG I think they have away, and one more home game they have SRH. So the three games they have, they are in the bottom place teams, like 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the three teams that they are going to face. So
But those are
I
very
think
volatile teams. Maybe except LSG, KKR, and SRH are not going to be very easy games. They're not going to throw in the towel, that's for sure. So they
that
have
is
to
for sure.
fight
I
there.
mean, KKR is going to give you a bite for means they are going to give you a run, a bite for every run.
Yeah,
You can't take. But SRH, the problem is the batsmen are not looking that confident only. They lack confidence currently. So I don't
yeah,
expect much from SRH. LSG again, batting is good, but bowling is slightly weaker. So let's see what
yeah,
happens.
yeah. So overall, Pratik, I think I'll give you the information. KKR has just defeated Rajasthan Royals by 1 run. Parag played a very good knock, 95 or 45, but I think I haven't seen the game, of course, because we were recording this video, but I believe so Rajasthan might have kind of thrown the game somewhere because if it's so close, then that means they were in a winning position at some point or the other, maybe. We will come to know when we check the
It
highlights.
means it means it's so sad for Rajasthan, man. I mean, first of all, this is the third, I think, third close loss for Rajasthan. I mean, the one
Yeah.
against DC in the super over, then against 3 runs or 2 runs against LSG, then again today by 1 run. I mean, it's hard
Oh,
for them.
oh, I think they again bottled today also because 206 was the target. I could see that at the end of 16 overs, they were 164. So what, 36, 42 of the last four, 43 of the last. Come on, man.
Sad, sad for them. But well,
Yeah,
KKR are back then. KKR are back on
yeah,
the.
KKR are back.
They do have a chance. They
Yes, yes,
always have a
KKR.
chance. So it looks they have a good chance again.
KKR have 11 points from 11 games. They are at number 6 right now. So who do you think will be the top four? I think we can agree on MI and RCB. Who
GT
are
as
the
well.
other two?
It will be there. GT will be
GT?
there. GT will be there. I think that there is a toss between the I think KKR, Punjab, and Gujarat. Sorry, GT, DC.
Hmm.
Because
What do
KKR,
you think?
I think at the business end of the tournament, KKR does have a slightly higher chances than these teams,
Hmm.
especially DC and the other one, Punjab Kings. But the fun part is Punjab Kings are playing on a wicket at Dharamshala, which is going to be a carnival wicket. I mean, anything can happen there. I mean, you can see a team bundle out for 120, or you can even see a 250 on that surface.
Hmm.
Small ground, very high altitude, the ball just pings off the bat. So let's see.
Yeah.
And also, there will be a massive amount of dew
I
because the
think it's
temperature
very
is low.
interesting this tournament in the business, and we don't know who's going to be the fourth team. But anyway, let's take a pick. I mean, so yours is top three is MI, RCB, GT, and
GT. And
GT. Yeah, that's top three. Number four.
I'll go with KKR. I think the KKR is the one who will make a comeback this year. Means there is always one team which does do those things, and I believe this year it will be KKR.
Uh, I think I also want to go for KKR, but I feel they might lose one game. But even if they lose one game, they can get to nine, right? No, no, they'll get to only eight if they lose one game. Mm, maybe I'll go with Punjab Kings. I think the top four that is there right now, Punjab Kings, GT, MI, and RCB. I think it's going to stay that way. I'm going with that prediction. KKR again. I really want to see them in the top four because, like I said, they are a very volatile team and they can do anything. But amongst the top four, I don't see Punjab or Gujarat having bad of a season from now. Maybe Gujarat can because they have certain weaknesses.
But they
That's the
have
problem.
two no, but they have two easy games at home against CSK and
Oh,
LS, whom they will give black soil wickets, and you know how Gujarat plays on black soil wickets.
and they
They
will
will
miss it.
score
Yeah,
they will score 160, and you know the game is already done. But the problem there, if there is dew in Ahmedabad, this might backfire very badly. That 160 will be chased down in 15 overs. if there is dew, because you are reliant on spin. And if the dew comes in, and we know how bad the dew is in Ahmedabad, if that comes in, Gujarat is going to lose the game by a huge margin.
Yep.
And also,
Yep.
it's true in the other aspect as well. If the other teams bat first and they also don't score a lot of runs, then also it is a problem.
Yep. Yep. So just to end this podcast, the top four predictions that Pratik and I have made. Mine is MIRCB, GT, and Punjab Kings. While Pratik's predictions are MIRCB, GT, and Kolkata Knight Riders. So we'll meet you guys maybe towards the end of the league stage. I think at that point of time, Pratik, I'll be in Bangalore. So maybe we can do the podcast together on one screen instead of having this split screen. And we'll see you in the next one. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, consider sharing it to your friends. Consider subscribing to our channel. I know we haven't been too consistent with the IPL podcasts. We'll try to, but as you can see, like the next podcast is definitely going to be towards the end of league stage, and then maybe one each for every playoff game. I think that's something that we can do, but depends on the traveling and stuff. We'll see. We'll see when we'll get there. But yeah, that said, the future series, whenever India plays England, the Test series and all, for that we'll be doing continuous coverage. That's for sure. At least after every Test match. So that's that. We'll see you in the next one. Up until then, ciao.